For Learn to Trade. We've got the professor. We've got Joey Options. Go get them, boys.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to the How to Trade During the Midday show. That is your boy, Joey Options. Hey, what about it, Fabian? Okay. Thanks for the interruption. Shout out to everybody. We're waiting for everyone to come on over from the other chat. Shout out to Darwin and Elon. Hi to you too, my man. We got Andrew Chow and Valerie Petrov. Bears versus Dang Bulls on my main man, Adam DeLuce and Ari Pages. We got Volky, Day Trader, Cutting Benton, CCOYG. We got a big game this weekend, Benton. We got to get this done. Borhat and VW. Who else? Hades Trader. That means like hell, right? Ezekiel, we got Grubbs, we got even Joe's in the house. We got Rogelio, we got Daddy Gator and Zuckerborg. Soccer Shop, we got Jose Perez, Volt. Who else we got here? Who's this? Reek Mayhem, I love that. Shout out to Laura White and Robert Woods, Alex Davis and Great Scott. Shout out to Pilot Josh and Starvin' Like, ... What are you starving like, right? Jordan, Soccer Shopping Club, Joseph Birch Music, Barbara Dennison, and shout out to Damn Creative and Wood, Luis Suarez. Don't be biting anybody, please. Ronaldo, we got Trader B and Jay Lee. Shout out to the OG. We got the Stock Hunter and Stan O, Jacoby Waters, and Laura Sanchez. Shout out to Drew P. You know I'm not going to finish that last part there. You got me before, you won't get me again. Cody Duggins and Brian. Hey. We're going to finish off with Brian today.
Brian. Anyways.
What's up, Brian?
Hey, anyways, yeah, good morning, brother. How was your evening?
It was all right,
Yeah,
you know.
right. Yeah,
Didn't
good.
session in the morning, so feeling a little bit of an L to start the day, but we're going to make up for that.
Hey, you're going to make up for it. We can always we can't make up for last time, but we can somewhat get back, do that double 2 days, and then you're right back.
A couple of days on the weekend to get that done.
Exactly.
True.
So beautiful stuff. I know we got a lesson from Sharif today. I'm not going to talk about Team Canada today. You know what, Sharif? No.
Yes,
you know it. And our team did the exact same thing last night. We blew 3 leads to lose 4-3.
That was actually.
Yeah. Like legit happened. We were up 1-0. They tie it up. We're up 2-1. They tie it up. We're up 3.
We caught 3 L's
yeah,
tournament, right?
Yeah.
Who did I say? It was Latvia,
the States, and
we got a
Czechia.
Whooping from the States, 4-1, so 4-3 yesterday. Yeah. See, feels like the D's a little soft there, though.
Yeah, D's a little soft. Yeah. They're just soft. Anyways, yeah. Guys, top performing sectors thus far on the day. We got energies leading the way once again here, folks, with XLE up about 1.8% on the session. Let's pull it up here real quick for the people before we get into Sharif's lesson. So there we go. We got XLE, not the most liquid thing right now on this. So here we go. Positive up 1.6% on the session now. Then we got XLRE sitting in second place here, folks, up about 0.5% as well, too. And then in third place, we have one of my favorite, XLF. Jeremy Diamond and crew sitting up there. No, Jamie Diamond up about the same as XLRE, folks. 0.5% on the session thus far. Now we're going to go for third last, second last, and then in last place, well, which is surprising, is that accurate? The tech sector being in last place. But guys, anyways, we got XLC here sitting in third last, down about 0.3% there on the comms. And then we have consumer discretionary as well too. No, it's XL. Can't remember it. There we go. Nope, that's not it. Anyways, we'll skip that one because I'm having a brain fart. We'll go on to the tech sector. I don't know why I keep forgetting discretionary, but anyways, tech sector down about 0.8%. So just under 1% here on the tech sector there, folks. So there we go. Those are your top 3 and bottom 3. Top performing sector.
All right, we got a sick lesson. We're going to do double tops, double bottoms. Before that, Andre, I want to show them what I'm looking at here for the small cap gappers. There's a lot running today, guys. All of the 8 right now on my chart are above the volume weighted average price, which under my system means that they're currently tradable. NITO, a light 175% up on the day. This is a holdover from yesterday. You'll recall if you were watching with us yesterday, we were trading NITO. It's running again today. It's having a field day right now at $3. Keep your eye on that. Rivian, obviously not a small cap gapper, but it's trading like one today. Up and to the dang right goes Rivian on better than expected deliveries. Rocket Labs, RKLB. It's not a big, it's 11.5%, but the chart pattern is beautiful. I mean, you get a dip in the VWAP and then boom, right back up there. Rich Tech Robotics? Yeah, Rich Tech Robotics. Joseph just brought this up in passing. I threw it up. I'm like, okay, it's up 43%. It's going up on the small cap gappers list. It's also on its way to $3.5. BDMD up 29%, almost holding VWAP. That's in play. KITT. This just broke through 3 above VWAP. This is kind of really getting its volume under it right now. I'm talking about KITT. That's important because these small cap gappers have a bit of an ebb and flow to them, okay? And so they're very volume centric, so we'll keep an eye on that volume. I don't want it to dry up. CRNC looking to take triple digits today on the day, looking at 85%, looking to go over 100, holding the 10 above VWAP, everything you need to see. Last but certainly not least, LUNR off the highs, but above VWAP, not big on the day in terms of percentage, 12 1/3, 12 3/4, but the chart pattern looks good and therefore tradable, so we're gonna keep it on there. So that's what I'll be looking at after we are done the lesson du jour, but right now, baby, let's get right to it, Andre. We're going to talk about these double tops and double bottoms. Why? Because we are talking about reversal patterns. We were talking about the head and shoulders before that, and then we were talking about generally reversal patterns before that. So let's continue with that topic and get on the way. Again, this lesson is based on Chapter 5 of John J. Murphy's book, Technical Analysis of the Dang Financial Markets. It doesn't include dang, I threw that in there. But by the end of this, by the end of this lesson, we should be able to understand double tops and bottom patterns, how to measure the potential price targets using the pattern, and the practical application of these patterns to trading strategies that we use intraday as well as swing. So let's get right down to business. As we always do, we introduce the topic de novo, anew, for those who do not know what double tops and bottoms are. So the technical definition of a double top and a double bottom are classic reversal patterns that signal the change in the trend direction. A double top is indicative of a market shift from bullish to bearish, obviously, while a double bottom signals a reversal from bearish to bullish. The key features of the double top and double bottom, for the double top first, you have 2 peaks of similar height, so they don't need to be at the same price level. Kind of looks like an M or an upside W, okay? So 2 peaks of similar height separated by a moderate trough. I'm gonna show you pictures in a second. The double bottom, the exact opposite of that, right? You get 2 troughs of similar depth separated by a moderate peak. And this is kind of what we're looking at in terms of a double top. You have your first top, your second top, and there is the neckline, or we could call that the moderate trough there. So you're looking for a V-shaped retracement off the trough and then a general rejection of that previous area of resistance. Now, we'll talk about how to enter and how to exit later, but just for our purposes right now, this is the neckline break. So if you're a conservative trader, this is likely where you're gonna get short. That's not the only area to get short, obviously, okay? So let's talk about the formation of the pattern. So how do we identify these double tops and double bottoms? Well, let's talk about the double top formation first and foremost. So the double top pattern is formed when the price rises to a resistance level, then declines, and then rises again to test the same resistance level that it rejected, but fails to break through that level. So this pattern often forms a significant uptrend showing exhaustion in buying strength. Then the neckline that we talked about there, that's the horizontal support line at the trough between the 2 peaks. A break below that neckline confirms the pattern and signals a potential downtrend, and that's kind of what we're looking at there. There's point A, point C, and then point B is the neckline break. We'll talk about that once we're done paying some bills.
Hey, you know what time it is. Sharif, let's kick off 2025 with a massive savings from Trade Ideas. right now, exclusive to Trader TV, viewers get 25% off any subscription with code TraderTV25. Or go big with the 30% off premium annual using TTV Primo 30. Both valid through January 3rd. Don't miss out on these New Year's savings, and let's crush 2025 together, guys. So today is the last day to get 30% off that premium. So sign up, scan that QR code, folks, and sign up.
Well, you should probably hurry.
Yeah, you should hurry up, get it going. You don't want to miss out on these type of savings. I don't think so.
I don't think I want to miss
There you go.
If I didn't have an account provided by work, I'd be signing
You'd
up.
be signing up right now, exactly. So year of efficiency, guys. Get that discount. Channel your inner Mark Zuck and get that rolling.
All right, let's get back to business, baby. So that is the neckline break right there, that point B. We'll talk about that and how we use the neckline break to measure where to take profits and where to basically project the move. So this is kind of the neckline break there. Let's talk about the double bottom formation. We just talked about the double top. Let's talk about the double bottom. A lot of them are similar. There is a few variances with respect to volume at the double tops and double bottoms. So they're identical in pattern, just in the opposite, but there are some differences, again, with respect to volume. So the double bottom formation, this is essentially a mirror image. It occurs after a downtrend when the price tests a support level twice without breaking lower, okay? Once the price breaks above the neckline, same thing for the double bottom here, it indicates the potential for a new uptrend. But there is a volume consideration here for the double bottom that we don't necessarily look at for the double top, and that's kind of what I wanted to stress. In a double bottom, volume typically decreases as the second peak forms and then should increase on the break below the neckline. So that's for the double top, okay? In a double bottom, rising volume on the breakout above the neckline confirms a bullish breakout. So this is kind of what we're looking at here. You should be looking when this area breaks, like have a look at the price action over here. Once this neckline breaks over here, you should be looking at increasing volume. If you're not getting that increasing volume, it's not a hard and fast rule, but you should be on the lookout for a failed break, okay? So once that neckline breaks, that area between the double bottoms, you should be looking for a rise in volume. So you can do that a few ways. One, you can look at relative volume. How much R-vol are we doing over a period of a day, a week, on whatever time frame you're charting? Or you can just have a glance at the previous volume bars that preceded the double bottom, and to see, does the breakout of the neckline, the volume bar that supports that, is it above average or not? And a cursory view of the volume bars on the bottom of the chart should help you do that, okay? Now, how do we have a measuring technique? So like we know all these reversal patterns, they incorporate a version of the measured move. So you can basically chart the pattern and then be able to guesstimate where to take profits, where to get out based on the size of the pattern. So let's talk about that. Price target calculation. So the height of the pattern for the double tops and double bottoms, measured from the peaks in the double top or the troughs in a double bottom to the neckline, provides the basis for the price target. So a practical note here, this measured move acts as a guideline for setting price targets. For instance, if the distance between the peak and the neckline is $5, okay, the expected move after the break should also be approximately $5 in the direction of the trend reversal. It's not a hard and fast rule, and sometimes it can go far beyond that or may not reach it, but it's a general guide to have, you looking in this particular area, okay? And this is kind of what we're talking about over here. Here's your first bottom. Here's your second bottom. We know that the top area of the area crest in a double bottom, that's the neckline. So what you should be doing is you should be measuring from here to here and then projecting that same distance in price upward, and that's where you should be taking profit. So that is where the measured move taps out with respect to this size double bottom. It's the same thing for the double top, just in the opposite. So your entry points, let's talk about some of the practical applications of using these patterns. Your entry points, so traders typically enter a short position after a confirmed break of the neckline in the double top pattern. Traders typically, though, enter long after the neckline break in the double bottom. And your stop loss placement also important. We'll get to that in a second. So there's bottom number 1, bottom number 2. There's your neckline resistance. You get the breakout, and then you have the move back up. So it's always the neckline break. Now, that's not how I'd get in. All right, this is a conservative way to trade the double tops and double bottoms by waiting for that neckline resistance to get in. What you could do is, well, number 1, you've seen that left side of the double bottom already manifest, and then you've seen it move up to the neckline, reject, and then come back generally into that same area, right? So what you could do, once we bounce off this area and we start trending upward, you can get in anywhere in and around here and then place your stop right below the right side of the double bottom. So that to me would make more sense. I personally wouldn't want to give up this entire move on the right side of the double bottom and wait for that neckline breakout. To me, it makes more sense to get in on the right side of that W and then place my stop below the low. It's really that simple. That's how I see it. The textbooks don't see it that way. They're a bit more conservative. They want you to wait for that neckline break. And some even textbooks want that neckline break to clear and then come back in and get tested again. That's ultra conservative for me, and it ain't my move, and I wouldn't trade it like that. So that's a little bit about how I see things differently than the book. Now, stop loss placement equally as important as well. We got to manage risk, right? So a stop loss should be placed above the second peak in a double top, or should be placed below the second trough in a double bottom. And this is kind of what we're looking at over here. You're going along your merry way. Touch number 1, touch number 2. If you're conservative, you're taking out the neckline break, and then your stop is placed below the right, the second double bottom over here. So touch number 2. Again, I wouldn't trade it that way. I'd be getting in somewhere around here, and then be placing my stop below here. Okay. Volume confirmation. Joseph will appreciate this because he's always talking about volume, and as well he should be. So volume plays a crucial role in validating these patterns. Traders should ensure that there's an increase in volume when the price breaks the neckline for a more reliable signal. We already mentioned that. Without volume confirmation, the breakout may not sustain, and you definitely need to be on the lookout for that because sometimes we do get these failed patterns. That's part and parcel of trading. So there you go. You're moving along your merry way. You gap down big over here. Touch number 1 on the double bottom, and then you move up to the neckline. You reject. And then look at this. They're not equidistant. The right side of the double bottom not equidistant with the left side. That's fine, right? You get in here, and then the neckline break, which is really important, is supported by that big boy volume. Look at that volume spike on the bottom over here, and then you start printing higher highs and higher lows, and you continue on your merry way on the trend reversal. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. To conclude, guys, double tops and bottoms are reliable, one of the most reliable reversal patterns used by traders to anticipate shifts in trend, and understanding how these bad boys, how to measure the potential price move and the importance of volume in confirmation, provides the foundation for successfully integrating these patterns into the trading strategy. You know what I'm going to say, baby? I hope everybody brings up a storm. Happy Friday, everybody.
Multiple storms, multiple storms. Yeah, I mean, half decent market. A lot of these small caps are moving today, Sharif. There's no questioning that. The Qs are kind of a little bit sideways, but I Need Money says, why aren't you guys looking at MSTR? Well, I Need Money, we just started, so let's take a look at MSTR for you there, my guy. So yeah, I mean, what else would you like us to say about this? This thing's trading absolutely fantastic. It's hard to debate that at this point, but just keep in mind, look how far off those highs we are now, about 41% off of those all-time highs on MSTR. So, I mean, hey, it's trading extremely well, starting to recover really nicely. So if you're involved in MSTR this morning, then congratulations to you. You are trading extremely well. So yeah, really nice look there on MSTR. And hopefully you're trading it as well too. I Need Money. So yeah, I need money, man. I know it's from How High, that's for sure. Okay, so yeah, guys, we're in some TQs here. You know, just from a method standpoint, and I like that you pointed this out here, Sharif, is that, you know, I think coming with experience, you can understand a little bit more when your pattern or when your setup is starting to fail. And when it is, that helps you get out quicker too. You can be more decisive on your out. Okay, yeah, it's not working right now. Let me get out and then reassess the situation, as I often say, and then you can look to get back into the trade. And sure enough, you guys know I like to have my entries as close as to VWAP as possible. Sure enough, I bought it slightly extended away from the volume weighted average price. As soon as we went on the decline, I'm like, all right, let me get out here and then get back in. So now this is what I'm going to break down here for you guys, okay? So if I were to have held on to this trade, and mind you, this is extremely subjective. This is just my style of trading. There is no wrong way. There is no right way. There is only your way, and you need to execute your way the best, okay? So this is how I'm going to look at it. I entered here looking for the break of high day. I didn't get it. So if I were to have held this position all the way through this, I would have to wait until currently, as we're getting closer to my entry price, I would have had to sit through all of this just to get back to break even, okay? So instead, I just get out of my position and then I re-enter, and then sure enough, I have a definitive stop loss right here at the low, and then that's when you can create those higher risk to reward setups. So for me, no point in me holding that. I would be just at break even right now. Instead, you accept that 1 unit loss, that 1 R loss, whatever, how you refer your risk units. You get out, and then you reassess the situation, and then you get back in, and then you still have the same stops. If I'm using VWAP as my stop here, so look at this, like that's what you want to call my 1 risk unit. Now I need that to double to hit my 2 to 1. I'm out. Now I'm in here, and my risk is just below this pivot low here. And then sure enough, that's when you can hit those nice risk to reward trades, okay? So that's just my style and how I go about my trading. So, and here we go. And here we are on NVDA as well too. A really strong opening drive. Like look at the volume here on the 5-minute on the 5-minute chart, volume by time profile. Extremely, extremely strong. So now we're forming this consolidation phase and now looking to push higher. So I caught the bottom of the range, and then sure enough, I'm looking for that range to break. But as of right now, it's looking like we're pulling back in, and it's not ready to quite break yet. That selling is quite aggressive right now, so I have to be prepared to exit the trade if we break these key support levels, all right? So that's just my style. We caught the bottom of this range fairly well. We got that up move here, looking for the break of that resistance, forming that bull flag, and looking for that high of day break, okay? So those are my 2 setups that we got going on right now. And guys, if you have any questions, please throw them in the chat. We'll do our best to answer those. And a lot of people in the chat, Sharif, are saying IBIT is ripping.
Oh, well, yeah.
Bitcoin,
Tesla's ripping.
IBIT is, and then
Bitcoin
sure.
as well.
And yeah, before we send it off to Sharif real quick, we'll just touch on Bitcoin real quick. I think the narrative is going to change here. I was really expecting this flat bottom break here, Sharif. But again, I think if we break this pivot here at 100K, then I think that we're going to go and test new all-time highs.
Can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember my bias that we'd whiffle and waffle between 100 and 90? And then I felt stupid because we popped into 107?
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that 107 pop was an anomaly, and then now we're actually ranging. How about, like, aside from those, I think 3 days we spent above 100, was it 3 or 4 days, something like that?
Yeah, something
The
like that.
majority of, that's a daily, right?
Yeah.
The majority of, we're in between that hundo and that 90,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely,
This to me, Joseph, is a bull flag. If I've ever seen one, this thing's going, I won't be convinced any different.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And you know what? My analysis was slightly wrong. I sold a little bit of shares here with the anticipation that 92K was going to break, and it hasn't. So this is extremely strong. And I want to touch on one more thing too, Sharif. It's the expected move, right? So you say you measure from point A to point B, and then you exceed that as a target. So what if we use this from a time standpoint? Like, look at this time that we were consolidating here on Bitcoin. That's almost 8 months of consolidation with a move only lasting about a month and a half or so. So I do think that there's going to be some more top side to this thing because we were consolidating for so long.
Agree. Yeah, it's like we'll have to wait and see. You know, if we consolidate for that long again, I think we've got more volatility in store, more possibilities for change with the new administration than we did with the other one. We knew your boy Gensler there wanted nothing to do with any cryptocurrencies and made it almost impossible
wow.
to launch anything. And
How did that work out for you?
Yeah, I know. Now he doesn't have a job.
Yeah, right.
So, see ya.
Well, see
But
ya.
in any event, no, for real though. So we've got a new incoming administration who feels entirely different. So I don't know if we whiffle and waffle for that long. Who knows? Who knows? Time will tell, baby.
And
I'm
with the
gonna be there to
reserve as
find
well
out.
too. Like
Pardon
again, with the reserve, Donald wants to create that reserve as well
There you
too.
go.
So yeah.
All right, so let's talk about some of the positions we got in right now. We got one winner on here on Rich Tech Robotics. Shout out to Joseph for bringing this to my attention. Let's see if this one keeps going. 40% or going 40% in the clear. Just what the beak there at 35s, waiting at 40s, layering the orders. I should probably layer another order on this bad boy here at 45. So we'll sit there at 45s. The one that ain't going my way right now is RIVN. We are about 15 pennies out of the money here. I've got to hold at 16 bucks. It's gonna have to hold 16. Otherwise, I want no smoke. If it does give up the ghost at 16, I'm looking at the volume weighted average price for another entry. I'm gonna be looking at Rivian today just because I think it's in play. $15.50 is where the volume weighted average price right now is on my chart on Rivian. So if the 10 gives up, I'll be looking at 15 3/4 because that's where the 20 exponential is hanging out. If it wants to bounce off there, I'm all ears and eyes, whatever. Otherwise, we're going to wait for the VWAP. And now, KITT. So I was about to punch in right at the beginning of the show, but I'm like, Sharif, don't punch into a volatile name when you're doing the lesson. It doesn't usually work out well for you. So I packed my patience, and by the time I was done the lesson, this thing had taken 3 and then some. Now, we're going to see if this one wants to bull flag and hold generally this 2 2/3 area. We're break even on it right now. We're in at 70. It's trading at 70, layering my orders for a pop. Now, this thing really got a pop under it right now. Right at 11 o'clock, it started shooting up. It's not continuing in the way that I thought it would. And also, it's a $2 name with a 3-penny spread. That displeases me. Because, well, it should definitely be a bit of a tighter spread there. So keep an eye out on that. Yeah, I'm good, Fabian, brother. What's going on over there? All right, so we're going to keep an eye out on KITT as well as our Rocket Labs. Rocket Labs, though, Rich Tech Robotic, excuse me, coming into that 40-penny area. We'll see if we can get the print in and around there. All right, I see you guys yelling about Stressla. Stressla is going. So Tesla is on one right now. It is by far the strongest looking of the Mag 7 names. It may not be that percentage-wise, or is it? Let me find out. It is. It's up almost 4 1/5 right now. It's ahead of NVIDIA. NVIDIA's at 3 1/4. But the chart pattern that looks the most bullish to me is right now the Cybertruck about to take out 395. To go into yesterday's pre-market consolidation area before we absolutely tanked. Sorry, that's not the it was pre-market. It was right before we got the deliveries number. We got the delivery number right at 9. To move up there, we're going into about 408. 408 is the consolidation area bottom. That's where we kind of bottomed out, or the bottom dropped off from around that 408. So this is looking awfully rounded bottom here, with especially the pre-market lows this morning holding above the lows from yesterday. So that's kind of what you want to see, higher lows on the day. So TSLA up 4 1/5, Joseph, and it's looking like it's on one right now, baby. 400 might be in sight.
Yeah, absolutely. On Tesla, I mean, I'm just reading something from Joseph Birch Music.
Going.
No, it's all right. Some Tesla perma bears are roasting on still an Elon right now. Yeah, I mean,
good.
Hey, yeah, exactly. We know that the deliveries were slightly weak, but again, I think this could just be a liquidity grab in order for this thing to recover and continue to move higher. We know that that Tesla gets volatile at times, right? And now it's breaking out extremely strong. So let's actually pull the underlying asset out here and not use this leverage derivative. But yeah, Tesla trading really well, up about 4% on the session, almost 4.5% per session there. So 4.5% there, sorry, on the session. So just keep that in mind, guys. Let's pull up on here and see what, from a percentage metric, how far off those all-time highs we are. So let's pull up some Tesla, TSLA. Okay, why are you doing that to me? 1 second there, folks. TSLA, okay. So let's just take a look here. We're gonna zoom out and see what we got from a percentage metric off those all-time highs. Is this a potential turnaround signal with that gap down day? I think so. I think we can continue to the top side here, especially what we know what Elon got going on. So we're about 20, just under 20% here from those all-time highs on Tesla. Or yeah, the year-to-date highs anyway. So I mean, hey, I think it's time for this thing to start recovering. There's a lot of tailwinds for Tesla in the future. So I like Tesla, and I like the recovery that it's going to have, because I mean, I thought that it was going to recover regardless, just due to the deliveries announcement and reports. So that's what you usually get. You get that aggressive selling, and then in the coming days you get that recovery. And sure enough, we're getting that right now, and it's fairly strong. I mean, we're still in a secondary downtrend. The primary trend is still to the top side, so just keep that in mind. So we'll continue to move it, but this is what you want to see. This is the type of recovery and strength that you want to see from these types of stocks. And sure enough, Tesla's putting in a fantastic session so far. Now, guys, I was looking at RCAT, and my good buddy Greg V told me to look at RCAT this morning as well, too. So yeah, this Puerto Rico drone company trading extremely well. Let's zoom out here. And yeah, sure enough, I mentioned that it's up like 250% from mid-November or something along those lines. So again, trading extremely well. And some of these small cap street are starting to become a lot more lucrative. But yeah, we're going to send it off to Adara real quick for Sector Watch.
Take a look here at some of these outperforming names to the upside and downside on the market, as we always do around this time of day. Make sure to vote in the poll for the tickers you want to see in the rundown. Today, once at 11, the second time at 1 p.m. And then at 12 p.m., we have a special playmaker poll. So tune in then to vote if you think that the guys should go long or short the SPY in the sim. So we're going to take a look here at the S&P 500. One sector, though, that's been really strong here and was also pretty strong yesterday, is going to be that utilities and non-energy space. So we're going to start here with VST. This is up a cool 7.5%. This is at day's highs. Only catalyst here seems to be a price target increase from UBS, with a $174 price target, and they're maintaining their buy rating. But the sector has mostly been on watch because of the massive move in CEG yesterday. Constellation Energy Group, our second name on watch here. UBS actually lowering its price target on CEG, despite the fact that the company yesterday announced that they're actually receiving over $1 billion in government grants. So that was the catalyst that sent these groups to the upside. We also, though, did have a price target increase here from Evercore ISI and a maintaining of a rating there from KeyBank. Last but not least, NRG, another name in the sector. There's no catalyst on NRG, but basically, if you're looking in this kind of energy or utility space, there will probably be some winners to the upside, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. You have any?
Well, no, I was just saying to you, I think Bitcoin hits that 100K. I know we were just talking about it, but just with the strength in it, when you see it have these strong days and these strong sessions, it's nothing for this thing to put in a 10K day, an 8K day. So, I mean, we haven't put in one of those in quite some time, other than to the selling side. But again, like, look at this session here. We go from 78,000 all the way up to about 88,000, so just under 88,000. So that's a 10K session right there, and we haven't put in one of those for almost over a month. That is. So I do think that it's primed for one of these sessions. I really thought that those support systems were going to break on this thing. And sure enough, it's been holding extremely strong. So I think if we break some of these key resistance levels at that 100K price target, sure enough, I think we're going to go and test that all-time high in the near future. That is. So I'm really bullish on this thing. It's looking like we touch 100K today, Sharif.
Yes, sir. All right. Just weaseling into some positions over here. All right, let's talk about this one, KITT. Look, this is worrying me a little bit here because it's holding up above VWAP, but it's putting more aggressively lower highs than it is putting in higher lows. So I may have to work my way out of this one. I've already put my stop below the $0.50. I don't want to paper hand this trade because I do feel it's at a good area at the volume weighted average price, good area to enter. But again, I want to mention that the continuity on these small cap gappers during the midday is fading. And that's something that I noticed this week. You know, last week or in the week before that, we had continued strength during the midday. You're not necessarily seeing that anymore. So if that's going to be the case, we're going to have to either, stop trading them because there's a lack of continuity, or we're going to have to definitely look and be more choosy. Like case in point, CRNC continues to put in higher highs and higher lows during the midday. but some of the other ones, not so much. So I'm a little concerned with KITT right now. We'll pack our patience. We'll see what comes of that. Now, this one as well, our Rivian, I'm fine with. If this breaks 16, that's fine. I'm looking at 15.50 for Rivian there. That one I'm packing my patience on. RR, what are we doing here? We got one quick print at that 35s, and then, we don't make a newer high. So that's my concern here. Like the consistency of these patterns during the midday is a little bit weaker. And if I don't want to be too conservative in how I trade this. Like I can always keep my stop between the previous area low. That's easy. Okay, fine. But that may not be the right move, and that's what always has me be like, no, keep it at VWAP. VWAP's the right level. I'm just thinking out loud here for where I want to place my stop here for R if I want to move it up below that 310 consolidation area and move it up to the prior bar low on the 5, which would be around 319. 320-ish or so, keeping an eye on that. BDMD's breaking out, guys, so it's not just CRNC that's moving. BDMD consistently higher lows here. This is spready, though. For a $7 name, it's awfully spready, so you're going to have to manage risk accordingly with this one, but it is giving you the right pattern. Now, this one, the bottom can drop off in a hurry. Look what it did here, 742, 1 second, 592 the other. So it can definitely turn on you in a hurry, so manage your risk accordingly with that one. So those are the ones I'm keeping my eye on, Joseph. We'll see what comes of these bad boys.
Yeah, nice look there, my friend. Someone in the chat asked me to look at NITO, and sure enough, we can do just that. So yeah, let's pull up NITO here. From a daily perspective, that's absolutely phenomenal. Let's get into what they do. The market cap's a little small on this one, 31 million there. NITO, sorry, is the company specializes in eco crop protection that helps reduce food waste and ensure food safety while reducing the use of pesticides. Okay, that's interesting. Really, really interesting. But let's zoom out here a little bit here, folks, and see what we got going. So it looks like it IPO'd. Yeah, a couple years ago, that is. So yeah, I mean, it went all the way up to $16 and then just continued to the south side, selling really, really heavy. But now starting to gap up and getting in that volatility kind of skew to the top side, which is really, really nice here. That volume is supporting this breakout. By all means, hopefully you're not holding the bag from the top, but this is something extremely positive that you want to see. So something must be going on. There must be a catalyst along the lines in order for the past couple of days for it to kind of have this price action. So we'll keep an eye out on NITO. Really nice, the volume supporting the breakout, and then you have the gap up. Again, the market capitalization is really small on this one, so again, not overly familiar with the ticker, but as of right now, if you're in off the bottoms, then congratulations to you. You're up a couple 100% on that one, but we're going to send it off to Adara.
So we're going to take a look here at TSLA is on watch, and I guess also keep an eye maybe on that DXYZ because we have a SpaceX related catalyst. SpaceX announcing that its 7th flight test of the Starship, is preparing to launch, and they're going to be deploying Starlink simulators in space. So keep an eye here on TSLA and DXYZ, which is the Destiny Tech 100 ETF. That does hold a good portion there of SpaceX. We also have that NITO. I did find a story there for N2 off. Basically, a couple days ago announcing their joint venture with Solterra Renewable Energy, and they obtained an approval through that joint venture for 111 megawatt power solar PV project in Germany. So solar-related catalyst here, it looks like, for NITO. Back to you.
All right, Joseph. Look, I totally forgot to mention that we're in Meta. Got into Meta 599.63. Get it, Adara. And now we wet our beak 3 times over here. Let's see if we can weasel on up. The next profit taker, I'm waiting at the $0.75. We've been having issues with the $0.50. Look at the level 2 right there on the ask, a $0.50 seller, and they've been hanging out there for a hot minute. I did get the print above 55s, but it was a quick wick above it and then right back down. Like, look, the only reason I took Meta at this level because I felt it had the most to gain off the bottom into VWAP. It's one of the only ones that's not above VWAP. In fact, I'm looking at my Mag 7 right now. It is the only one south of VWAP. So I was like, okay, if the market's catching a bid, because Joseph was yelling, I'm like, hey, the market's pumping. And I looked and I absolutely agreed with that. So I was like, okay, which one has the most opportunity to the high side here, or at least into a key area of technical resistance? I gauged Meta to be of that, but it is having trouble breaking through and holding above that 600 to 600.5. So de-risked along the way, waiting again at the $0.75. Then we're waiting at the lofty area over here of 601 and then 3/4. So we'll see if the market wants to continue catching a bid. Meta is dead on the day. I was calling Apple the dead one. Well, maybe they're competing now. Which one is more dead? 0.18 for Meta, 0.14 for Meta, excuse me, and then 0.06 for Apple. All right, let's look at some of the other ones. Rivian seems to be holding 16. So it did dip into 16, and then it caught a bit of a bid, still out of the money on this one by about 7 cents or so. As it comes back into that 16 mid-teens, we'll pack our patience and see what we get there. Doing well on Kit. Took out 4. This is a bit of a bigger position for me, but look, we're not getting that break and take of 3, Joseph, so I am still concerned about this one, putting more aggressively lower highs than it is putting in higher lows. So you always want to look to see the nature of that compression pattern, which side of the compression pattern seems to be dominating, that lower high or that higher low situation. I gauge it right now to be that lower high situation in control more than the higher low. So we'll pack our patience there. I know I pack my patience a lot.
Yeah, packing it,
that.
man.
I didn't notice.
But the bag must be getting full.
Whoo! The suitcase.
Yeah.
You should have come out with the suitcase. Yeah, I feel you though. I got the joke there. Rich Tech doing bupkis. We're break even on that. We had a quick beak wetter, but this one really slowing down now. The volume really dropping off and definitely not as aggressive as it was earlier on. So this one might be short-lived. I've moved up my stop on this bad boy so that I don't encounter too much of a drawdown if it does continue to move down. I see Meta moving up here. Here comes that 3/4, bang! So we're $1 in the money now on Meta. Let's let this one run, baby. We're gonna let this one see if it can take that 601. I'm waiting at 601. You know where I'm sitting.
Bang.
601.69, baby. Let's see if that prints.
Hey, love it. Hey, guys, I really want to point this out because I go on about it just day after day, and it's just from just screen time when I'm at home. I just have the laptop going, just watching these signals, and I really want to show you guys this here right now, okay? And it's on so many tickers. Sharif, you ready for this?
Ooh, I'm listening.
Okay, look. So PLTR, right?
Okay.
Look at this candle right here. I act as VWAP as kind of an elastic band, but you have that indecision hammer right there with the volume candle right there, and then sure enough, you punch higher, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so now let's look at AMD.
AMD.
Same thing, right? The exact same candle right there, that indecision hammer candle. Didn't fully close, but again, an inability to test any of these lows, price starting to turn around. So now we got AMD and we got PLTR. Now let's take a look at the Qs. Same thing on the Qs. You have this consolidation phase, breakthrough VWAP, inability to create any new lows with that indecision hammer candle. These are the type of signals that I'm looking for day in and day out, and the market will present them more often than not. You can find them at extreme lows. You can find them at extreme highs. You can find them when the overall market is strong, and then they want to continue in the direction of the opening drives. These are key levels and key signals that I'm constantly looking out for, and sure enough, we have it on the SPY as well too. SPY, and here we are. The same thing, these same prints. Look out for these prints around VWAP at extreme highs and extreme lows, and the more comfortable you get with them, I think the more you'll have the ability to take advantage of those signals. I think maybe next week we go over volume price analysis one more time, just so we can touch base on it and just really catch a grasp and understanding that these signals are there and they present themselves. And I really like having the ability to take advantage of them, and that's why I'm in the TQs as well too, guys. I wasn't in exactly when I wanted to be in, but that's fine. We caught part of the trend. This market is absolutely strong today. There's no questioning that whatsoever. So I think it's been a stellar day, and I do think that we continue. And NVDA is now going to go test the highest of day, Sharif. So I think that with the momentum in the market, it's going to break and then make a new high of day as well.
I'm pleased as dang punch, Joseph. Appreciate you. Look at this. Okay, so we weasel in the Kit, and we got the big boy breakout.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was concerned about this one. Really, definitely not. I was waxing poetic to using a dare term that this one was putting aggressively lower highs than it was putting in higher lows. So shows how much I know. No, so we ended up taking out there at 3 1/3. I'm happy with this trade. We'll look to do a little bit better next up by having more size. And I took a 2-banger here on Meta, as this one took that 601.5. So we take a $2 winner here on META. Guys, there's still room for Meta to go here. I just took it prematurely. Adara's like, oh yeah, 602. Let's see, 602 and a fifth. That's where VWAP is. That doesn't mean that that's the only area where it can hang out or it can move back to. Meta has a high of the day of 609 and a half. So, you know, I'm not saying we're going back to highs of days, of course, but if we do, well, that's a pretty $8 from here. So, yeah, keep your eye out on the Zuck train. It was definitely anemic to start the day. It has picked up a little bit over here now, only what am I trying to say? It's up 0.5% while it was essentially flat before. So the Zuck train is headed back to the high side over here. Keep your eye out on that, okay? So that's what we're going to keep an eye out on. Kit coming right back down into 3. Now, I added into positions yesterday that I regretted adding into. I don't want to be quick to add into Kit because I like the $3 level. That hurt me yesterday. I don't want to get hurt again today. Adara is at the big desk.
Just be aware of NOTE fiscal note holdings. Other small cap name, though, it's worth noting, they don't have a lot of volume. We got this 500,000 candle volume spike, 500,000 share volume spike, but other than that, we've dropped a little bit here. We do have about 2 million shares traded on the day for fiscal note. NOTE is the ticker. Float of about 88 million shares, market cap of almost $161 million, and a short float of 6.8% for new small cap contender. NOTE. I'm also seeing IRBT moving a little bit here. So we'll pull up IRBT as well. iRobot Corporation. We've seen a lot of these robotics names running. Rich Tech has been on watch here. Rich Tech Robotics and ARBE. So another one here, IRBT, with a 10.5% short float and a float of about 26.5 million shares. Back to you.
I mean, like, wow, this market is absolutely ripping, my friend. It's extremely strong. Nice recovery here. On this session. I'm just trying to pull up my NVDA chart here and continuing. Yeah, I got to take a little bit more off the top here, folks.
Get it?
Yeah. I mean, look at this session. This is fantastic. And guys, look, and I was talking about this earlier. This is why you get out. You get the better entry, and then sure enough, you can just get that nice trending play here on the TQs, and the same with NVDA. So, I mean, catching the bottom of that range with that bullish opening drive, the first hour of the session, our first half hour of the session, extremely strong, putting in that consolidation phase, holding the volume weighted average price, breaking through key resistance zones, and then now creating those new highs of days. So up 4% on the session with NVDA. Havana Winnie press confirmation and risk of protest Monday. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I'm not too sure what he's talking about. He said Monday and Tuesday are big days, and he thinks volatility is going to step in, so he's curious about a straddle for those days. So I just pulled up the economic reports and calendar here, and I don't see too much here for next week other than some Fed Governor Christopher Waller speaks, Richmond Fed President speaks, and then the U.S. trade deficit on Tuesday, 8:30 ISM services and job openings. But as for Monday, we only got Fed Governor Lisa Cook speech and then factory orders. So I don't know if that's going to bring in a lot of volatility. Havana, maybe you're seeing something that I'm not, but just, again, let me know what that is. Hey, guys, thanks for the show. $5 super chat.
Okay.
Thanks for the show. What about SOFI? No problem. We got you on that. Sofi. Yeah, Sofi. Yeah, Sofi.
Outs on NVIDIA, dog.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you.
What? Say something.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Look at that.
Hey, yeah, it's nice. I told you the market. Yeah,
bro.
Man, I mean the market's trading really nice, man. So again, just looking for the continuation in the trend there, Sharif.
Okay.
And same with the TQs. If everything's strong, I'm not going to.
That entry.
Yeah, exactly. At the bottom of, we're close to it right here. It's in 5 minutes. So, but yeah, got the bottom of the range there. That's what we were looking for. So yeah. So sorry. And America, we're gonna go back to SoFi there for you, my friend, and see what we got going on. See, I mean, like, look at the overall market here, and then look at SoFi. And ask yourself, is this something you necessarily want to be participating in? Because this is a grinder, right? And you're sitting over here, palms are sweating, you're scratching your head, you're like, come on, are you gonna join the overall market? And sure enough, you have everything else trading significantly higher, right? So again, let's zoom out here on SoFi because I know it has been trading significantly well. I wanna zoom out a little bit more here and go from a weekly perspective. And yeah, thanks. I appreciate that for freezing on me. So we'll pull up one more chart here on Sofi and see what we got going on here, folks. S-O-F-I, Sofi. Yeah, I like Sofi. Okay, go to the weekly. Don't do it to me again. It does it again. All right, so sorry, guys, on that about Sofi. We'll pull it up from a daily standpoint. Why does it do that, man? We'll pull up one more time, and there we go. Okay, so yeah, here we are, folks. Trading extremely well. Off these bottoms here, let's take a look and see what we have been off these August lows. Okay, there we are. So, wow, okay, trading extremely well, up by 188% at those highs, but now 144%. Trading really well on the year. So, good look on Sofi. Really good look there on Sofi, but again, there's so many other things trading extremely well. Do you really want to be in that type of grinder like Sofi? Just find something that you want to participate, makes your life a little bit easier and mine easier, because I know you're stressing out. So I'm like, oh, I hope you're doing well. But again, so just look for those trends. I know we are slightly extended right now, and that's totally fine. Wait for those pullbacks. If the strength is going to be continued in the market, you'll be able to tell that. If those pullbacks aren't deep, then you can look to participate on that front. Buy those pullbacks in strong markets and just look to participate in those strong trends.
Joseph.
Wow, oh, whoa, what do you got slapping over there?
Yeah, we'll talk
just
about
a
that in a
little
second,
something,
bro.
eh?
This is more important right here. So I was trading Kit, right, Joseph?
Yes, sir.
And you know, I'm not very bright, which is kind of one of my problems. But thankfully, Neil is.
What is this thing here?
You don't recognize that?
No.
Come on, Joe. Well, this is before your time. I didn't watch the show.
Okay, so how am I going to recognize?
Well, it's before Garrett's time. She always
look at the
knows
look
stuff.
Neil's giving me.
Yeah, Neil's not happy.
Oh, is this Back to the Future?
No, Joseph. Neil's coming.
No.
Get
He
a
left.
slipper, Neil.
He left.
Bring a slipper
He
with
left.
you.
Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
All right, so this is...
Oh, no.
This is Kit, right? Yeah, I wish I had more hands. So I'll give them, you know what, 2 thumbs down.
David Hasselhoff.
There we go.
David.
Knight Rider. Bro.
Fire.
All right, hold on. We're going to show it like this.
Okay, when is
Let me
Knight Rider?
throw that on there. Does that help?
Yeah, well,
Does this
I
help
would
a
still
little
have
bit?
said that was Back to the Future. I have no idea what this is.
This is Knight Rider. It's an 80s show. To be
Okay,
fair,
so I was born in
I know.
92.
There's reruns, Joseph.
All right, reruns. Okay.
Right? Okay, so this is...
I was a
man.
Y&R type guy.
Y&R. Grandma with your grandma?
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
Y&R.
dude. Oh, my God. My grandma was all my children.
Victor Newman, yeah.
Oh,
Victor Newman was
man.
my guy growing up. Yeah.
When my grandma was poor woman, man. She had to babysit me. I was a disaster.
That's all
anyway.
right.
All
So
right,
what is going on with this Knight Rider?
Guys, we're killing it on RR right here.
Oh,
But
okay.
forget about that for a second. This is Knight Rider. Joseph, this is like... You know, was my dream when I was young. Look at the vision though.
Yeah.
They had a yoke steering wheel.
Yeah.
50 years before
let's go.
Elon threw that into the
Bang,
flag.
bang.
50 years before. They were visionaries, these people.
All
They
right.
got buttons, they got
Right.
lights, Joseph. They got everything a kid wants.
So what was this show? It was just
I think he was just like a superhero, you know.
okay.
He had a car that talked to
Fair
him.
enough.
It had autonomous drive.
All right.
Excuse me, this is like Tesla before Tesla knew it was
All right.
Tesla. Autonomous driving.
So
a
Elon
yoke
got
steering wheel.
it from Knight Rider. pretty much.
I'm assuming Elon got a little bit of inspiration from this. Come on.
But I mean, hey, I was close with Back to the Future. No, it's
Yeah,
kinda,
you're good.
you know what I mean? Somewhat close. We'll give
I
it
don't
a
know.
little
I'm
credit.
gonna go with it. I don't want to make you feel bad or anything. All right, guys, we're printing up a storm here on RR, baby. This is breaking out. It just took the $50. I've layered my orders like every 5 or 6 pennies to account. Small outs here to account for the appreciation. It's really catching a bid. This current 5-minute candle has about 2 million shares. I'm waiting at 63s next. There's big size here at 60, about 2,000 lots, give or take, that we can see. Obviously, there could be a lot more hidden as an iceberg order, but 60 acting as resistance right now. It's going to go 50%. It took out 60 on the ask. Let's see if it can cross it on the bid. Not yet. It's not forthcoming. We'll pack our patience. Again, I'm waiting at 63s, 62s now on the ask, 61 on the bid. This should be able to squeeze here. Let's go. I don't see any size posted, but new size coming in. Bang! We take it out there, Joseph. Let's see if we can get where, you know where I'm waiting now. If I'm waiting in the 60s, you know where I'm waiting. I'm waiting at 69 now. Let's see if this one wants to appreciate to the high side. As I see it, your boy Rivian is back from the dead over here. So we were at the money for a hot minute on this one, and now I'm really lamenting not having added to the position at 16 because I could have kept the out like a couple of pennies below 16, 15.98, 15.95, whatever, right? It didn't break 16, and now I'm up here with the same position like a schmuck at that $0.25. We'll see if this one wants to squeeze. Bang, we get the first position out there on Rivian. Let's see if we can get 35s next here on RIVN. It's up 23% on good news. Put some dang respect on this one's name. Shout out to the spiled one. Knight Rider is more proof Elon Dust has never had an original idea. Why are you such an Elon hater, bro? Yeah, he hates the market when it goes up.
Did you see his super chat before that?
Yeah. I told him. I responded to him. I love when he does that. I want to read it. Hold on.
Yeah, read it.
Just go back up there. People were responding to him. If someone assassinates Musk, what happens to Tesla? Yeah, that's a really good question.
It is a really good question.
That is a good question. No, but seriously, if he's gone, who's going to steer that ship? I mean, who's going to steer that car, says Adara. Pun.
Well, you don't even need it. You don't even need anybody to steer the car these days.
Oh, another piece of the puzzle falls into place there.
Maybe he'll get an optimist to replace him.
Oh, boy, we're getting real bleak over here. No, but seriously, though, like, what is the succession plan? I think shareholders have been asking that for a hot minute. It's not like he's old, though. He's in his 50s, right? He's got years and years before he probably retires. These guys work into their 70s, some of these CEOs. Yeah, but the question always has been posed, the succession plan, obviously, after Musk, in the same way that people were asking about Apple after Steve Jobs. And we know what happened there. Creativity dropped.
Yeah.
Okay? So, yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. I'm obviously not excited for that to happen or anything like that, being a shareholder and genuinely liking the guy. Yeah, so that's the situation. So we'll keep an eye out on Rivian. We'll keep an eye out on Rich Tech. Rich Tech finding a bit of a top right now at that 64 penny area. Let's see if this one wants to continue to the high side. And I'm loving, guys, the contribution you guys have been dropping there in the chat. Been seeing so many new names lately, and the comments are fantastic. And I disagree with like 50% of the stuff being said, but I couldn't respect it more, because it's just different ideas being bounced off, one another, and it's a good dialogue to have. So I always love it. Keep it in the chat. Keep bringing it in the chat, but keep it clean and keep it respectful. Joseph.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Keep it positive in the chat. I'm not going to go any further into that. But yeah, guys, we're continuing to trade extremely well, slowly starting to pull back. But I just was referring to these micro pullbacks when the market is extremely strong, kind of like it is now, and you see this really strong volume by time profile with NVIDIA. Sure enough, we continue to the top side, slowly pulling back now with that volume starting to dwindle. So that's a positive signal for the longs, especially if we want to continue in that direction, all right? So just keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure Elon has uploaded his conscious to a Neuralink, which will just connect to one of his Optimus robots. No, on the blockchain. I like that, and I was going to actually refer to that on the blockchain. I really like what you just said right there, because there's this show called Altered Carbon that does exactly that, and it's like you can upload your subconscious to like a chip, and then just use it like another skin, like another human body, and just upload that.
Isn't that called the Singularity or something?
I have no idea, but there's a show called Altered Carbon about it, and it's actually pretty sick. It's actually a good show. So
nice.
Yeah, I mean, eventually that's what he's getting at with Neuralink. So I mean, this guy's gonna fly his SpaceX with an Optimus bot, and sure enough. So, I mean, we're gonna send it off to Adara, guys. Really good conversation, and thanks for chiming in, as Sharif said before. But we're gonna send it off to Adara and then to Neil with his lesson of the day.
Sir.
What a day for the market. We have the S&P 500 up 1%. The NASDAQ up about 1% as well here. And I mean, look at the way we've kind of just rocketed off of these lows around 12 p.m. yesterday. Great look, but we are looking to form a little bit of a topping tail potentially here for the SPY, and NASDAQ looking pretty similar here as well. So the NASDAQ, interestingly enough, actually was able to reject its previous resistance. S&P 500 hasn't quite gotten there yet on the 15-minute chart. A little bit of Fed speak here from Fed's Barkin, talking about demand here for housing versus supply. Do have Fed's daily speaking twice over the weekend, so maybe some more Fed speak to digest when we come back on Monday. But other than that, it's been a fairly light day for economic data. It has not been a light day, though, for these small cap movers and for these catalysts. NOTE on the move, CRNC on the move. And let's take a look at some of these other movers today, including X. This is U.S. Steel. I mean, so many catalysts for this one today. Last night, we had U.S. Steel announcing via a press release that if they get acquired by Nippon, they want to basically start this work program in Pennsylvania. Then they basically have Reuters reporting that Biden's going to be blocking the deal, which we kind of expected. Then we have Nippon coming out and basically saying, you know, we disapprove, we disagree, we think this decision is unlawful. And if that wasn't enough, then we get Nikkei reporting that Nippon is going to be suing the U.S. government with regards to the deal. And last but not least here, these comments just coming up now. The White House's Kirby here, Secretary of the Press, basically saying that this decision for U.S. Steel had to do with security risks and the fact that U.S. Steel has a critical role in America's supply chain. So interesting note there. I'm sure the story is not over, so we will continue to update it as we find out more. And we also have CVNA, this one actually at pretty much day's lows here near the bottom, getting a short report from Hindenburg yesterday. The JPM has basically said that they're not really sure all these concerns are accurate based on their own research. Either way, though, CVNA and X definitely names to watch going forward. But also make sure you watch our polls. We have a couple throughout the midday. Make sure you participate in that chat. Like, subscribe, and check out Neil and his lesson of the day. Take it away, Neil.
Thank you very much, Adara. Lesson of the day is going to be, oddly enough, you were just talking about Carvana. I'm going to talk a little bit about Carvana and short seller reports. But I have to acknowledge that Joe with the big redemption of himself with the Altered Carbon reference, because that is a brilliant sci-fi set of novels and a fantastic show if you haven't checked it out. And of course, at some point, I feel like Elon Musk and Neuralink is going to get us there. So we've seen short seller reports before. And obviously, look, everybody has their own different way of making money. It's not about judging or hating on these guys like Hindenburg or Citron or whoever they might be. But I think as traders, like, you can't necessarily ignore the volatility and trading opportunities that come when these get launched. Now, first things first, and we said this before, when I've yet to see an instance of a short seller report being dropped when a stock is at basically just chilling out at an all-time high. It almost always, in most cases, you're going to have something like this on Carvana, where it's already dropped. In this particular case, you're going to see this like top. It's already lost a bit of support. You see consolidation under. This is where you need to be careful because it's got a secondary move down that's already testing a major consolidation support level. You can see what happened at this 187. On the daily chart, zoom back out. And so the first thing you want to look for is if it's going to continue to the downside, you've got a nice little anchor at that 187. If you were short in the pre-market, okay, fine, fair enough. But once volume comes in at the open, you're above the 187 mark, kind of flushes back in. I don't mind anybody that would take a 187 break in here. And it gave you a good trade. You probably, if you're quick, you're scalping a couple of dollars out of it. But the second this wick happens, and you've got this kind of volume and this kind of a rejection wick, you need to be out. And whether you're out is a couple of bucks in here, that's reasonable risk on Carvana or $1. I'm not saying you got to be long, but we've seen it way too many times on these short seller reports that they happen to get launched when a stock is already trended down into a major support level, and then you get some exit liquidity because there's going to be extra volume in and around that price, which gives them a little bit of out. And lo and behold, look what's happening at the 87 level again, right? Like I got this idea when we saw this. I didn't even realize this was happening until I just looked at it now. You could literally have just looked at the exact same level what we found on the daily where it did the curl earlier. There's a trend down. There's your trend reversion right off 87, 86 stop. You're already $2 in the money. And I'm not saying Carvana's a long in the long term or that it's a good company. It frankly doesn't necessarily matter. It's about the pattern that we observe. But there's another one which I've seen work before. And that is simply if after a short seller report, I'm going to go to the 15-minute here, you've got a bottom once at that 87. If it holds again, and today's Friday, so that'll have to be on Monday. If it holds again at that 87 or higher, then the next available trade to me is once it's got at least a double bottom, is a breakout through prior resistance, which would be this 200 level. So all I know is when you make a temporary bottom, after, sometimes it's a couple of days after, sometimes it's a week after, where you never break that low. Look, if it breaks that low, all bets off at 200. But if it holds that low a couple of days, maybe some higher lows in there as well, a 200 breakout is going to set up. It's so easy to want to catch this, oh, it's going to flush 20, 30%. It can happen. There's no question about it. But you've always got to be extra careful in a general sense punching lows, especially when it's a multi-time frame support level. It's nothing wrong with taking that breakdown trade. As I said, if you took an 87 break this morning or shorted into Carvana right off of the open, like these are 90s in here. This is 88, 89. If you took an 87 break, that bottom is legitimately 83. There's a lot of opportunity to have won on that trade. But you've got to do a few things. Once it makes that wick, if you're adding into a short when it makes a wick bottom, especially after a short seller report's has come out and it's starting to bounce, like it's a crazy trap to get put in where your risk to reward is not favoring you at all. So as long as you're not reloading it, I'm not saying you got to go long, although a lot of times that is that's the better opportunity risk to reward. At least either get out or do not reload that trade. You got to be careful, and you can see what again happens at that same price level. There's buyers down there, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was Hindenburg themselves. Clearly, they've made money on this short. They can't lose on it at this point. So you got to be careful when these reports come out. They can provide you with extra downside if you're playing the short trade, but do not get trapped at a big support level on the daily chart trying to short underneath it unless it shows you the continuation. You got to be able to get out of Dodge and wait for the next opportunity, because the modus operandi is they are getting out at least something of a short they were already in. Not that they're putting one on at these prices. So that's your lesson of the day. Lots of opportunity when these reports come out, but you got to play it right.
Here he is, Neil's lesson of the day. Informative, eloquent, just awesome. All around awesome.
As always.
Yes.
As always. And even more so today because he said I recovered myself.
you got back in his good books there.
I'm in the good books.
I like that. Yeah,
I'm in the
something I aspire to be.
Yeah.
People's good books.
In the good
I
books.
don't necessarily want to be in their bad books.
Yeah,
You know,
well.
like I don't think that's really the move, right? Despite even if I don't care what they think.
Yeah,
you
boy,
know,
I was just
who
about
needs
to
that
say
vitriol,
that, like,
right? Like
sometimes, I mean, if it's mutual, we like each other. Other than
Yeah.
that,
yeah, that's fair.
You can't please everybody, unfortunately.
No,
So, yeah, but I mean, hey, Sharif, we ran out of shares here on both our trades. Pull up my chart here, please, and thank you. Yeah, out of shares on NVDA. Traded extremely nice there for us. Yeah, just had no more outs. Traded this one nice. Played that consolidation phase, that bull flag, whatever you would like to call it, on NVDA. And then as well on the TQs as well too, guys. So playing those signals. I didn't get this. This was the entry that I actually wanted to get. Didn't get it, so I waited for the pullback. I thought we were going to break up here and then go and test the high day, as I mentioned before. And then that's just why I just stopped out of the position. If it wanted to trade higher and make a new high of day, I was confident that it was going to hold the volume weighted average price and those turnaround signals would be displayed. And sure enough, just being patient. Again, you're not going to get them all the time. Sometimes it's hit or miss, but just with more screen time, more experience, you have the ability to take advantage of these opportunities. So yeah, I know my good buddy Greg had a good trade as well today, was pointing out some good things, and my other buddy Dan F as well too. So maybe we'll pull those up for you guys and see what they got cooking up, because Greg and I have been trading together for a long time, for years now, I think over 3 years now. So shout out to him. I don't know if he's still in the chat or anything like that, but yeah, appreciate you, my friend. And the market is just slowly starting to grind. I mean, we're putting in this consolidation phase here on the Qs as well too. Really nice run up, as I mentioned previously before. Broke those highs of days. Nice leg up. Didn't put in a red 5-minute candle for about over a half an hour, 45 minutes or so. And then now we're just trading in this range, holding it extremely well. So what was once resistance, let's see if this comes up and holds as support now, and then maybe we make an additional leg higher, because I mean we're trading fantastic on the session So just continue to look for those plays in strength, unless there's those signals that tell you, hey, Sharif, price action is absolutely ready to turn around.
Oh, it always is. So Elon has just announced that he's gonna, I don't know who this woman is, Alice Weidel. I'm not butchering her name, but yeah, interesting conversation here. It's all going to be about SpaceX. And yeah, I'm all about that life. Obviously, that's going to be January 9th, that day that the market is closed.
Nice.
We'll be here. Obviously, we're going to do a special talking about the entire year coming up, some longer term plays that we're all looking at. So if you guys don't have anything to do that day, because the 9th is obviously off for the late President Jimmy Carter. And, Elon looking like he wants to do some stuff on X as well. So, yeah, all the Elon fans, you've been, I've let you know. All right, guys, here's the deal. What's up?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
did you, my grandma was telling me, and I also seen it on X too, that JP and Pierre did an interview.
Oh yeah, that's going to be.
Did you watch that?
I've seen snippets of it. Elon reposted it on,
Yeah,
on X.
that's
yeah.
where I've seen it.
So Jordan Peterson, obviously, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's Canadian. I think he's a psychologist, right?
Well,
Thank
he
you.
was, but
He's a psychology professor.
he had to go through he had to be re-educated.
Of course he did.
So.
Of course he did. We're not going to go down that road because I've got very strong feelings. But the point is, he's Canadian, and he's well respected. He's very controversial. It's very polarizing. He did a special with Pierre Poilievre. You guys don't know who that is. Likely the next prime minister of this country. If not in March, then by the fall at the latest. Yeah, so if you guys want to see, where Canada's headed, it looks like as if we're going to have a marked change in government, and Jordan jumping on with him, getting the lead there. So anybody who's interested, it's on X, obviously, with that. So what I wanted to mention, Andre, was Meta. So we were talking about VWAP on Meta, and boy, oh boy, did we talk about VWAP. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candle holdup, all at the volume weighted average price. It's not making lower lows or higher highs. It's kind of waffling between that $650 area to $602. So I want to see if we can break and take VWAP. I'm absolutely interested in getting back long on Meta. I'm neither going to short it nor take it as a long now because I feel like we're in an area of indecision. So I'm going to pack my patience, see what we can get on this bad boy. META could be headed back to the upside over here. I'm quite happy with how we did with Rich Tech Robotics. I'm going to talk about my position in NITO in a second, but Rich Tech Robotics is right back into that high of the day. Again, we got that print at 79, so I'm still holding a position on this one. I want to see if we can get back above 75. It did double top on the 1 minute at 75 and right back down we go. We'll talk more about that when we get back to Madeira at the big desk.
This is the NASDAQ. We're going to take a look at the market here as we do have comments from Feds Barkin continuing to come in. And not all of these are going to be very dovish. We do have Feds Barkin saying that he is, quote, in the camp of staying restrictive for longer, given the possible upside inflation risks, adding that he expects 12-month inflation to decline, though, in the coming months, particularly given base effects over the prior year. So saying that he actually does expect a decline in inflation, but he still wants to remain restrictive. That's pretty much what we've expected here. We know that they're going to be a little bit more restrictive this year. Fed Chair Powell said that, and a lot of the Fed speakers we've heard since that December 18th meeting have said the same thing. Also adding that the message from businesses is, quote, loud and clear that consumers are becoming more price sensitive. So this is not a very rosy picture being painted by Feds Barkin right now as the NASDAQ makes a bit of a triple top. Back to you. Or double top.
No, Nitto. You're going to double bottom? Okay, if you're going to double bottom, that's fine. But anything below the $0.50 on NITO is going to be our loser of the day. 2.5 is where this is going to have to hold up, Joseph. I'm in NITO for the VWAP hold. So if VWAP doesn't hold, then I shouldn't be in it, right? That really is the logic behind that. So I'm in NITO here. This is my newer position. We've layered out the orders. I've taken nothing out. I'm holding the full position at 69s. It's down into 50s, a break of 50, and that's the end of the story on this one. Now, I'm giving it a few pennies below VWAP because VWAP isn't at 50s. In fact, it's at like 59s or 60s. So I'm already giving it room by having it south of the $0.50. If NITO wants to hold up, fantastic. It's got a 2-candle hold up generally right now at the volume weighted average price. Rivian is dropping, guys. It is broken 16. It was holding $16 for a long time. I just got stopped out of that. So that's the first L of the day here on RIVN. Again, as I said, I'm interested in Rivian at that 15.5, 15 2/3, or wherever the hell VWAP is hanging out at the time. We're about 30 pennies higher than where VWAP is at the moment. So I'm throwing out an alert. Because if I'm not keeping my eye out on Rivian, I want to know when it comes into that 50 penny area. In fact, I'm going to front run it, putting it at 60. We have the human algo, though, back at the big desk.
Thank you for that, Sharif. We have even more comments coming in from Fed's Barkin himself, basically saying that we, meaning the Fed, must see inflation at 2% or weakening in demand to cut rates. So you either need to see weakening demand, which we already know they're not seeing based on earlier Fed Barkin comments from today, or 2% inflation, which we know is going to be a little bit longer. Fed Chair Powell made that very clear at the last FOMC meeting, to the point where we actually had some reporters asking, is that even the neutral rate anymore? So things looking a little bit dicey here when it comes to some of these hawkish remarks coming from Barkin. Barkin also saying, and this is pretty interesting here as we head into the inauguration on January 20th, that there is, quote, too much uncertainty to factor any potential policies from Donald Trump into their current economic outlook. That also echoes what we've heard from the Fed in the past. Basically, Fed Chair Powell saying that they're considering the potential outlooks of this policy, but because we don't know the policies yet, it's really hard to tell. That's more Fed comments. If I see anything else, I'll be right back with you.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, yeah, did you have something? Oh, you just were woofing?
Yeah.
You were woofing and waffling over there. But yeah, this is my buddy Greg sent me this here. Beautiful stuff from him. Nice trade, nice short there. But again, not too much continuation on that front, so we got out right at the right time. Nice work, my guy. Jaspreet Singh is saying, anything on Hood, Joe? Everything is moving just apart from Hood. So this is kind of what I was touching on before with Sofi themselves, is that you don't want to participate in this stuff. And I know you kind of, and I trust me, we've all been there. You get attached to positions, totally understandable. But the quicker you can just detach and just be like, hey, this isn't doing what I want it to do. It's lagging the overall market. Hold on to your thesis. Just have your exit plan. If it gets hit, if your stop gets hit, it gets hit. So be it. If your profit target gets hit, so be it. But again, don't get too attached. Give yourself a limited amount of entries, 1, 2, 3 entries, whatever you're comfortable and whatever's in your risk parameters. But also just have the ability to forget the stock, because unfortunately this market does not care about what we do or who we are. So just keep that in mind. If things aren't moving the way that you expect them to or you would like them to, go find something that is moving how you like it to, all right? So just, again, eliminate yourself from those these kind of toxic relationships, we'll say here, and look to find something that is positive, all right? So it's the same thing with Sofi and Hood. The market has been trading significantly higher, and these are lagging its peers. So just keep in mind, look for something with relative strength on that front, and just avoid things that are slightly weak and or lagging, because they're lagging for a reason. We may not know what it is, but again, the street has a reason, and sure enough, things are going to move when they want to move, and if they don't want to increase price or decrease it, then it's going to do absolutely nothing. So just keep that in mind. Guys, we got the TQs. I'm waiting for an entry. I don't want to short this market. I want to find a pullback and then look to get involved on that pullback. We had all our outs on this one, so that was 2 nice trades, 2 for 3 on that front. Really nice. And I mentioned just before, exactly. So I just mentioned before, just getting out and then getting that better entry, increasing that risk to reward. And sure enough, it worked out really, really nice for us. So guys, continue to let us know what you're looking at in the chat. I'm curious to see what you're looking at as well too. So and one thing I want to touch on that I think Obi and Neil were talking about it, and I know people in the chat were talking about it. Our guy over across seas, ADL, was as well too. He just gave a list of his indicators that he uses, and that's fine. And he gave a perfect example of like, okay, this is just what I've been doing for 10 years. This is what I'm comfortable with over that extended period of time, and this is how I run my system. So just find a way to run your system. Find things that really catch your eye, things that you're comfortable with, and things that you think that indicators that you think are going to benefit your trading. I use very little. The volume weighted average price, volume by time, and price action are my 3 main metrics. In the morning on the train, I'll run through the Camarilla pivot points as we went through before on a previous lesson. But other than that, volume by time, price action, and the volume weighted average price are my key metrics, and I just tried to refine those and try to become as efficient as I possibly could by using those.
All right. I'm keeping my eye now on a couple of things here. So Rivian didn't quite make it down into VWAP. Now it's catching a bit of a bid. It seems to be more of a price action support area at a previous area trough. So this is what I'm talking about over here. This hold up that we got at 1045. It dipped into 1580 and it clearly held up there with all the closing prints north of 1580. It looks like we're holding up at that same level because VWAP is around 1555. We bottomed out there at 1580, and now we're back at 16. Now, we haven't taken 16 yet, and I want to see exactly how we deal with 16, because 16 was a hot support level for a while. And that's where I had my stop below, and you can see that once it dipped below 16, I got stopped out, but it spent a lot of time holding 16. So if it spent a lot of time holding 16, it now may reject 16. Support flips to resistance and vice versa. So that's what I'm looking at right now with RIVN. And it does look like it is rejecting 16, at least initially, down into the 15 high to mid 80s we go. So I'm looking at this one, definitely still very interested on a VWAP entry. But if it doesn't give me the VWAP entry, if it keeps bouncing off 1580, well then I'll have to rethink that whole thing. Now, the other one is KITT. So this one is doing yet another compression pattern. It did one before, from 1055 to the breakout that we got at 1140, and now it's been doing another compression pattern from 1140 till now. So we've got higher lows, but we also have lower highs. We're above VWAP, we're above the 10, we're 98% on the day. So if I had to take a shot about which way this resolves, whether up or down, I'm taking my shot to the high side today. That's by no means a hard and fast rule, but keep your eye on it. 13.25 right now. It's on the way up. It's been holding the 10. It's been holding 3. It's got a 347 HOD, but something tells me KITT destined for more than $3.47 today as its high. We'll see where it closes. I don't really care where it closes. I'm probably not going to look at the stock again. It's around for a good time, not a long time. So we'll hang out and we'll see if we can get something here. Something tells me the money fills are in and around 3. You have a bit of a double bottom there at 3, which made sense because we used 3 as resistance before. So KITT in focus. Here we go with 3 1/3. We know that the high of the day is 347, but when we look at the closing prints, it's 3 1/3. 3 1/3 is the real resistance level if your move is to gauge the closing print as opposed to the wicks, which is kind of my thing. So I'm keeping my eye out on that. I'd like to be able to work into that some way, somehow. Now, another really strong name, and that's, I think, one of the only ones, KITT and CRNC are the only 2 names in small cap gapper world that are up triple digits today. Okay, and I have to CRNC kit and another one, and NITO. But I got stopped at a NITO. Those are the 3 triple digit winners. Now, CRNC looks really good here. You have a 2-candle hold up off the 10 exponential, but what you're getting is lower highs, but you're not necessarily getting higher lows. So that's obviously a little concerning. We are extended away from VWAP. 14.5, actually 14 1/3 is where VWAP is. We're printing right now 17 2/3. So I don't want to be quick to jump into this one, quite frankly, especially with the volume dwindling. Let's see what it does. If it has another candle hold up above the 10 exponential moving average, which is where it's at right now, then we'll give this one the old community college try and work into it. 17 2/3 right now, CRNC. Big boy mover on their day. But I'm also keeping my eye on some of these non-small cap gapper names. I'm seeing ARM here, 6% in the clear, trading above $136, a few pennies away from day's highs. I'm talking about ARM. ARM, I don't know why it's moving up. Let me just look over here. Spotlight ARM Holdings. No catalyst today for ARM, but we do know that CES is coming up, and they could have something in the hopper there that could get things moving. I don't know, but it's up 6%, possibly a relief rally. Your boy SMCI also up 6%, 6.1%. So the chips are certainly in play. I'm looking at the chips right now. It looks like AVGO is taking the day off, though. It's up 1/3%. Compare that to AMD 3, NVIDIA 4. So Broadcom is actually down 0.25% since 9:30. Since we rang the bell, we're down 0.25% on AVGO. So I'm just keeping my eye on those ones. They're not necessarily going to make, they're not necessarily going to be part of my trading plan, but definitely if the small cap gappers start giving up the ghost and, fading, we'll have to figure something else out. So right now I'm only in Rich Tech Robotics. I'm holding this one at 330 where I don't have too much of a position left. If it wants to take out that 375, I'll hold it for the dream. Otherwise, I'm just chilling. Rivian is continuing to reject 16. It's coming back down into that 1580 area. Sorry to keep jumping, guys, but we're managing multiple positions. 1580 is coming right back into that level. It's giving up the level right now at 1580. So this one does look like it may reject 16 and work its way at least into the volume weighted average price, or maybe even the $0.50. I'm not going to have a resting order on Rivian at VWAP to take advantage of the VWAP drop. I'm red on it already because of the stop out below 16. So I don't want to keep taking hits on it. If it comes into VWAP, holds up, I'll participate. But it's going to have to prove that it holds up there. By definition, that gives me a worse or a less advantageous entry price, which is fine by me. You're going to have to kind of make that trade-off there. Lastly, before we send to Joseph, I was waxing poetic about BDMD and the strength of BDMD. Well, it's back at VWAP. And so now it's put a symphony of lower highs, and it looks awfully flat, bottom breakish through that 660 area, Joseph. But equally as possible is a hold up at VWAP and a break back through 7. So despite the fact that I haven't traded BDMD today, I'm still keeping it on the side chart because it's setting up and it's above VWAP. Adara is at the big desk.
Let's look into ARM. ARM is going to be attending CES, so I'm going to give you guys some of the info on that. At 3 p.m. Pacific, so I guess about 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be getting comment on January 6th. So on Monday, we're going to be getting comments from the Chief Marketing Officer of ARM, Ami Badani. Then on Wednesday at around, it looks like 5:20 Eastern time, so none of these are going to be during market hours. We're going to be getting comments from Dipti Vashani, who is the Senior VP of and General Manager here of the automotive area of ARM. So we're going to be hearing comments from the Chief Marketing Officer and their automotive chief at this event. So keep an eye on ARM next week, guys. I'm going to be probably putting together a post for TTV Research, which you can check us out on X at TTV Research, on all of these companies that are going to be attending that event. Back to you.
Yeah, by the way, Adara dropped some great infographics on Trader TV Research. If you're not following that account,
follow her on X.
Yeah, exactly. It's dropping great stuff there. She's at the big desk. She's got all the different platforms that we use for data and news. So get on there. Give it a follow. Excellent stuff. I know that I'm keeping an eye on it every day.
Nice. Yeah, good stuff. I always see what Adara's up to, like her trades and everything like that. So yeah, follow her on X.
Joseph, I want to mention KITT's breaking out here. So here we go again, coming into that high of the day. We got the big boy breakthrough, that 3.25, 347 HOD. We're at 47s right now. There is a seller, a bit of an iceberg because there's no size posted at 47s, but we are rejecting 47s over and over. This is a triple-digit winner, 114 plus. There it goes. 48's now high a day. Can we take 50? Let's wait over here on 50. I was trying to punch in at the third of a dollar. I missed it. And then Joseph's like, punch. I'm like, no, I suck, right? So here we go. Took out 50s, Joseph. 53 HOD, KITT, continuing the bull flag setup. A great hold up off VWAP. A great hold up at 3. And here we go, taking out that HOD on KITT.
Oh, all right then. LL Cool J, man. Spin lines there. But no, we had a question in the chat, and someone said, Joe, what is volume by time? So it's essentially what you see here on the x-axis, right? So again, it's just the volume prints, but you got to think that it is by a time base, right? That's how it's calculated. So here we have the 1 minute print, so every 1 minute you'll get a new volume signature, and so on with the 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I just refer to it as volume by time because we know, and if you're new or for experienced traders, we have volume by price that is on the opposite axis, which is on the y-axis, okay? So that will show you where volume is most traded at by per price, okay, by per price, at which the most volume is traded at. But I refer to volume by time because that can display from a time perspective how much volume is traded in each interval that you set your charts to, okay? So just keep that in mind. So when I refer to volume by time, it is this here on the X, okay? So guys, I think I'm gonna have to punch. I'm gonna get out of here on the TQQs. Just because I was looking for the continuation, but I think it's relatively weak. I think we're going to get a better price on that one. So we're out of dodge on that front. Hopefully that answered your questions on the volume by time. Because, yeah, this is what I referred to. And I told you we're going to go over the CAMs, or not the CAMs, volume price analysis again next week. I think that's really important. It's really key for me. How you refer to it is again, subjective. It's just the method that I learned early in my studies. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, TQQ is trading really well, guys. Let's take a look at some of the top volume stocks on the session because we haven't done that yet today. So RGTI, it's NVDA usually at the top of its class, but RGTI continuing to sit at one of the highest volume traded stocks on these sessions, all right? So 5-minute doesn't look that pretty, but why is it continuously up here? Look at this run that RGTI has been on. They talk about it on the Big Show. We talk about it on the Midday. Just day after day, this stock has been in play for the past month and a half. So again, look for stocks that are in play. Look at the volatility step in on these stocks. So therefore, the average true range in these sessions are starting to grow more vastly as the stock starts to appreciate in price, okay? So look for these types of stocks that are in play and have those large volume sessions because that can give you more confidence within your trades and shows you that a lot more people are participating, especially retail as well too. So keep that in mind. Really nice on RGTI. And then we got CRNC. Have you been trading CRNC today?
I'm looking. I was just about to punch.
You were just about to punch. Okay, all right.
Here we go. It's doing it again. Dipped. It broke the 10. Bounces off the 20, forms a hammer candle off the 20, dip and pop. But most crucially, the current 5-minute candle that we're on has not made a new high. It's still lower than the previous candle. So let me just show you the 5-minute on this one.
Oh, I love that 1-minute print there.
This one? Where are you looking? Oh, yeah, that's the hammer candle.
Yeah,
so this is kind of like what it looks, the same thing, same beef here on the 5. And this is the candle I'm talking about. It didn't make a new high above its preceding candle. So when you see a hammer candle like this, sure, it shows you buyer exuberance between that certain range, right? But is there continuation? That's the question. I don't want to be fooled into a bull trap. And so far, that's kind of what we're getting. We're still getting lower highs. We haven't gotten necessarily a lower low because this candle is a hammer candle and we haven't gotten down there yet. But I'm on the lookout for it. It's going to have to curl up. Neil calls this getting it on the back end, right? It prints a green candle. And then, maybe another green candle of indecision where it's sideways movement. And then what I want to see is incrementally higher lows and higher highs showing me that the buyers are starting to take over. If I don't see that, then I'm kind of it's too risky for me to do that, right? So we're going to keep an eye out here. Good call out, Joseph. CRNC certainly in focus. Adara's at the big desk.
We're going to take a look here at these small caps as we do. We do a little bit of a lightning round small cap recap during the midday because there's so many on watch. But also on watch is the SPY poll. It's the playmaker poll. So make sure you vote in the chat right now. You have until 1 p.m. to do so. And you make sure you have that vote if you think the SPY should be long or short. Then that trade will be taken by the Bash Brothers themselves here live. You'll be able to follow that. So check that out. We'll take a look now at the IWM, which is certainly, it looks like it's running into a bit of resistance here, that 223 thirds level, currently just above 223, up about almost 1% here for the IWM. But as I mentioned earlier, this trend of higher lows from that base we made yesterday at around power hour has really continuing. So maybe some recovery for IWM. Next level of resistance appears to be that top of around 224 halves, which we actually made around 945 yesterday morning. Now let's go through all these small cap runners, shall we? NKLA, Nikola. This one looks like it could be running in sympathy with a lot of these EV names. Rivian's been really strong today. TSLA been pretty strong. I checked. I'm not seeing any delivery numbers for Nikola themselves, but 25.7% short float, pretty significant here for NKLA. Then we have LTBR. I'm seeing this one trying to break out right now as well. It's running the past light bridge up about 25% with a float of about 13.5 million shares and a 10.2% short float. There's KITT, which congrats to Sharif. I know he's been covering this one, but KITT, if you just want the details on this one again, really small float, 5.4 million shares, 8% of it's going to be sold short, and $20.32 million market cap for this ticker. Last but not least, we'll go over CRNC. This one here, definitely removed from highs. Look at that topping tail candle on the 15 at the $20 level. So be aware of $20. But Sarens here, this one's also a previous runner with a short float of 18.2%. Back to the Bash Brothers.
There goes R.R. Joseph. We get the print at 82s. All right, Rich Tech Robotics is on one, my man. Thank you for pointing that out.
What a trade, man.
Wow. I wouldn't even had eyes on this if it wasn't for you.
I'm like, dude, I'm like, Sharif, man. I'm like, I really want to get on one of these humanoid players. He's like, yeah? I'm like, yeah, RR. He pulls up RR. He's like, oh, I really like it.
Yeah,
he trades it. I don't even pay any mind to it after that fact. And what is it up? 60% on the day? Oh, my.
When you mentioned, by the way, it was about 23%.
Weird. So, yeah, all right. Well,
it's going, Joseph.
Fumble.
All right,
HOD
on RR, 390 incoming. Let's see if we can take out that 90 penny level. We were just at 80s. We had size at 80s. There goes 90s on the ask, not on the bid, though. So we still haven't crossed. There we go. Now we're going to move into 4. I mean, we're at 93s. We're up 63%. I don't know what the short float on this is. I'm taking it out at 4 or near 4. We're going to finish with this trade. Let's see if we can weasel up a little bit more. 64%, 95s now showing on the ask. A tight spread of 1 penny. And here we go, eating up that 95 size. Let's sit at 98s. I'm just going to finish my trade at 98s, come what may. 97s now on the ask. Can we cross into 98s? Let's go. No. Rejection into 88.
Man, highly dude, you're cheesed about not getting a fill. I'm looking at this thing from a daily perspective. Like, man, I'm like, Sharif, man, I really like this thing. I think I'm going to put a little bit of cash into it. And sure enough, it's just been absolutely trading fantastic on the session, up 61% now on the day. And I'm just like over here like, man, oh my days.
You're good, bro. You had that NVIDIA monster trade.
Yeah, well, I want this for a longer term play, and I would have liked the price here because I told you what the game plan was. Right?
Yeah.
Right? So like $1,000, 1,000%, hit me up.
That's it.
Let me know. So.
What's that 10 bagger, baby? There you go.
Exactly. CRNC, doing as Sharif says, bubkiss, so we might have to get out of it. We have to get out of that one. Yeah, but I'm going to hold on to it, Sharif. We break 1650, I'm at a dodge. There's no doubt about this. So let's just keep in mind here, I bid as well too. We kind of double topped here, slightly alarming. We break 55.86. I'm at a dodge as well too on that one. We can get a better price if we break those levels, and then we'll just look to reassess the situation and get back in on that as well too. So yeah, Tesla sideways for an hour. I mean, yeah, it's been consolidating, but look at this. Look at the run that it's been on. Sure enough, we can't just go up all the time, but this is positive. At least the pullback isn't deep, right? So look at it from that type of standpoint. A really strong 5-minute opening range for all those 5-minute orb traders. A really nice 5-minute orb as well there. Having the inability to break that 5-minute range low, putting in that hammer doji that I pointed out across multiple tickers. So you've seen that on the face of multiple tickers on the session. So that is really strong signal there. Consolidation phase, and then we push through the high day with extreme momentum on the 5-minute, and then now this pullback, the volume is dwindling. That is extremely positive. Are we going to take that third leg higher? I don't know. Usually that third leg is a little more tricky. So again, but holding these levels is extremely key with a base around $393.46. Let's see if it can continue to hold that base, because these indecision prints can determine some possible weakness on the sell side, and that buyers are in control here. And as we go to continue to push, holding that bottom of the range, I think Tesla may make another run for the high of day on the session. So what is NVDA doing? Sure, we can take a look at NVDA for you. And it's the exact same thing. Really strong opening 45 minutes here, half an hour on NVDA. Consolidation phase. Then we break it, go and test the high day. But now we have double topped here. So one thing that I want to point out is that in order for us to break these levels, as displayed here, there's no real demand above the high of day as of right now. So we're going to need the volume to step in, and then we can push for that high of day break. But just the way the overall market is moving today, I think that it's only a matter of time until another buy program steps in, and then we can take that second leg higher, because we have been trading phenomenal. And one thing I wanted to point out as well too, we did this a while ago. I mentioned these key support levels holding, and then when I seen this candle, I'm like, okay, I think that NVDA, because it was lagging the peers, we had Tesla making all-time highs, we had Apple making all-time highs, Meta, Amazon, and and Google as well too. A lot of the mega cap tech stocks. I can't. It's a tongue twister to me, man. For some reason, yeah, it is. So, anyways, they were making all-time highs. Well, NVDA was lagging. Now we're getting a little bit of rotation. You're seeing the semis being a little bit stronger on in their sessions, and now NVDA starting to pick up that momentum and picking up strength, moving for those all-time highs. And I think it's only a matter of time until Jensen and company, only down about 6%. From those all-time highs, eventually go and push for those. So, I mean, looking for those trades around 126.57. If you're grabbing those dips on NVDA and the overall market, I think you're doing fairly well for yourself.
Absolutely. I'm just keeping my eye here on some of the social media posts. Guys, I want to talk about Meta for a second, because, you know, we had a good trade on it, but let me tell you, I got it wrong with respect to the VWAP break, or maybe I didn't. We'll see. So I was watching this one, whiffled and waffled between 11:45 and 12:20 south of VWAP. Then the bid came in, and it came in quite aggressively, taking out VWAP. So is this one of those cases where VWAP, previous area of resistance, now acts as support? That's what I was inclined to think initially. I'm like, okay, look, it cleared it, and now it's kind of using it as a base, as support. But then we started putting in a 4-candle lower high formation. So that kind of confused me a little bit. Now, I don't want to take a higher risk trade by putting an entry above the candle, above the high of the 1225 candle, say at like 603.5, because that's where it topped out. It topped out at 603.38. It's essentially the $0.50 on a $600 name. So I'm concerned that these lower highs right now on Meta might mean a reversion back below VWAP, and essentially, I don't want to call it a flat bottom break, but the failure of a VWAP hold. So there's a couple of ways I see to trade this. Get in on the lower end at around 602, where VWAP essentially is. You're going to have to risk about 601.50. So 50 penny risk. That's one way to do it. Look for that previous area of resistance to act as support. So that's number one. Number two, what I see as a bit of a higher risk trade, but that actually gets confirmation, is to place my order, a resting entry above the high of this candle over here at 603.5. Let me know what you think about that strategy on Meta, if you guys would play it the same way, or whether you have a different way to weasel into Meta, or if you wouldn't get into Meta at all because you think that maybe there's nothing doing around here. So tag Joe or I in the chat. I'd love to know what you think about this entry over here on MET. I haven't been trading the MEG lately, the last couple of months, but, you know, there's muscle memory in there somewhere. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Get it, Adara. So we'll keep an eye out on Meta. Kashif. Sharif. When you have VWAP with pre-market data and without, the VWAP is on different levels, absolutely accurate. So what's the right way, with or without pre-market data? Look, brother, it's all about the volume. If the small cap gapper or whatever you're trading was doing volume in the pre-market, it really behooves you to anchor the VWAP from 4 a.m. or from wherever. So I'll give you a case in point. Our platform here, P Pro 8, Neil, VWAP starts generating on P Pro 8 around 7 or 6? 6-ish, okay? So sometimes my VWAP settings on my execution platform at work here is different than on my actual brokerage platform because the brokerage starts generating from 4 a.m. So it's a fantastic question. The short answer is keep your eye on the pre-market volume. If there is a significant amount of volume or whatever significant means for that stock, everyone is going to be different. Yes, absolutely included. I include it by default. okay? Now, that may not be the right thing to do, but I always include my VWAP settings from 4 a.m. onwards. I want to see what things, especially because I trade these small cap gappers, and most of them, not all, most of them do actually have a significant amount of volume done in the pre-market. So it makes sense for me to have it that way. Let me know what you think. All right, let's see what else people are saying here in the chat. Just looking over here. Okay, I guess nobody's chimed in on the meta entry. Okay, so then no ideas there. I'm gonna stay put.
Oh, did you have your meta trade up there?
I didn't, but I asked exactly like, would you guys get in at a 602 entry to kind of take that previous area of resistance, now support at VWAP? Is that the move, the dip trade, or are you looking for the breakout trade at around 603.5? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Shout out to Kashif, no problem, brother. Anytime you have any question, tag Joe or I. That's kind of the easiest way we can answer, because then we see the tag in the chat. Otherwise, you're gonna have to read every single one. All right, you guys have been talking about sound for a long time here.
It's been trading really well, actually.
Yeah, we'll have to look. What's going on with Apple, Big Spile? Why is he yelling about Apple? Apple breaking into the low of days, not quite. It's back at that 242.5 though. It's had support at 242.5, Big Spile. So I think maybe that's why you're looking at it there. Apple's been awfully range bound, 244 to the high side. I want to say 242.5 to the low side. It seems like it's very range bound today. I don't want to trade Apple. I hate trading Apple. So I'm just going to leave that out there. Let's have a look at SOUN though. No, it isn't.
No,
OB.
it's not. It is not OB. Yeah, it is not OB.
Maybe for you, brother, but I don't find it fun. What did Adair say there? That area just above 602. Adair saying 602.13 was wild resistance on Meta. Could flip to support. Shout out to the human algo. She's been keeping an eye out on Meta. Keep your eye on Adair's levels in the chat. She's always, telling us what she's trading and what the levels she's seeing are. Shout out to her. So here's SOUN, Joseph. Let's have a look at this one and see what the situation is. We're up 7.25% on it off the highs, 22.25 HOD. We're back down now. We've been straddling for whatever reason here the 20 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. That is a yellow line on my black charts. We've been, yes, holding up at the 20, a bit of a compression pattern right now where we have umpteen amount of lower highs, but we also have marginally higher lows. It seems to me that we may be using this area crest over here at 945 when we topped out into that 21.5. Looks like we're using 21.5, give or take, generally as support. So I'm kind of... I'm not going to trade this one. I didn't have a plan on this one, and I just don't want to jump into it super quick. I will put it on the side chart, though. If it catches a bid, definitely could be interested in this one. One of the biggest movers of the year last year.
Yeah, Soundhound.
NVIDIA throwing their weight behind this name. So
totally. I totally agree with you. One thing that I'm noticing, Sharif, in the chat is that we're getting a lot more people talking about options.
Okay.
All right.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. I love this. All right. So I'm curious. I know you guys are buying lots of calls, are buying puts, but I'm curious, what other strategies are you implementing in your day-to-day trading? Are you a spread trader? So are you kind of defining that downside risk a little bit more while capping your gains? Are you a condor trader, like a market neutral trader? Or are you a options trader? Please put it in the chat. And be a little more descriptive in your strategy. So I see just people buying outright calls. So when you say those calls, just put your strike and the expiration date on them as well too, and the value of those contracts, because I'm always really, really curious to see what's going on. For those who have been in the chat for a while, know that I prefer to write options. Why do I prefer to write options? Because, excuse me, because now I have theta working in my favor. Are they a little bit more risk adverse? Absolutely, because we know that we can get squeezy on when you're shorting calls, and things can happen like really, really quick, and you get those gamma squeezes when you're either writing puts and you're writing calls. All right, so just really, so here we go. We got a 45-day bull put spread selling premium on verticals. I love it. Poor man 1T ghetto spread, so a poor man's there. Just really good stuff there. Like, and let me know, do you guys it seems like a lot of people are bullish, and I'm thinking to myself always, just when I go over the chain on the weekends, and I'm looking for strategies to employ, like, okay, what am I going to do here? Am I going to do a bull put? Am I going to do a bear call just for the weeklies. And sure enough, I like seeing what everybody else is up to. Seeing them, we're getting mostly leaps as well too, which is fantastic. So longer duration options. Look at everybody chiming in here, man. That's absolutely fantastic. Because I want to know the wheel strategy for the W. Absolutely, Mikey. We do that lesson as well too. We do verticals as well. We do calendars, ETF options, mostly 0 DTE, IRBT calls. Options is all Greek to me. Yeah, exactly. It's all about the Greeks, but I'm assuming you're saying it's a foreign language. Joe, I'm selling put spread under support. Beautiful. Miss Lucia, and this is what we went over. I really like that you said that. You're selling put spreads under support. So that's exactly what I would look to do. And this is how I implement deltas into my options trading. I am looking for those high percentage of expiration, right? Out the money expiration, sorry, I should say. So I'm looking for those deltas of 0.1, 90% chance of expiring out the money. And that's what you want to look for in options writing, all right? You're not going to collect the most premium. That's understandable, but understand that you have that high probability of profit, the POP, okay? And that's what I'm looking for. So if, for example, someone said in the chat, writing the puts, so this is how I would look at this. I would find a definitive support base. I would pull up my options chain and look for that 10 delta put closest to the bottom of that support system. So I would pull up the chain, a weekly expiration, and say, okay, what are the 509s offering with a $5 put spread? A bull put spread, right? And that's what I would look for. And so I'm glad that you guys are chiming in and what kind of option strategies you're employing, because that's exactly what I would look to do here. Play a bull put spread in a strong market, and if you continuously rinse and repeat, those work as amazing passive incomes. You just really need to be risk adverse, all right? Those losses can be extremely large if you don't have those stop losses, because you can squeeze, you can get caught in those gamma squeeze and volatility onslaughts, all right? So for options writers, it's always best to write options in high volatility and then cover on the way down, and then you want to buy in low volatility with an increase of volatility to the top side. So yeah, I'm really glad. Look at all the people chime in on the
Bro,
MSTR
you got a
calls.
ridiculous amount of comments. You have a lot to go through there.
I don't know if I can go through all of them.
I'll wax poetic about Meta while you read.
Here we go.
Meta's breaking out. Here we go. 604 breakout on Meta right now. It's a great 602 hold up. I'm really lamenting not having gotten back into this position. It was a flip from resistance to support. Resistance was at 602, shadowing where VWAP was at the time. It then broke and took it at around 1230, then basically used the same area that it was resisting as this time as support. 604 now, we just wicked off. Keep in mind though, it is a 609.50 high of day. So if we get anything close near the high day, well, that presents us with a great movement, upward movement opportunity, maybe into 7s, maybe into 8s, whatever it is. It's a good look right now on META. Headed to the high side, looks awfully good. NVIDIA looks good right now as well. So does Tesla. Tesla has a great rounded bottom off the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. NVIDIA is at the high of the day at 144. 48 is about to take out that $0.50. So great strength there. Meta continues to move up. And if you don't want to chase any of these, let me tell you about one that's at an area of what I perceive to be support. Don't know why it's not participating right now, but the ZON came right back into that 223.5 where the volume weighted average price is. It's a 2-candle hold up at that level. By way of precedent, at 1040, we did work right into that 223.5 where VWAP is, and we rejected. So there, it's not just a white line on the chart over here that we're basing trades off and on. There is price action resistance there to make the case for now possibly support. So AMZN at the volume weighted average price. There goes Meta through 604. It is now breaking out. I feel like a dang idiot over here with having no trade on Meta, but there it is. 604 broke and took. I think we got into about $0.25. Looks like it's continuing to go here on META. Now up 0.4% on the day, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. Now, another Mag 7 name, AAPL. Someone was telling me, look, bro, Apple broke that 242.5. Well, brother, maybe in a strict sense, in the sense that, wicked into the 40s or 30s, but that isn't what I mean when I'm saying 242.5 area support. You can't look at a $200-300 name and get nitpicky with the pennies. What I mean about 242.5 is a general area. And I'm also a little bit more inclined to want to base my analysis on the closing prints rather than the wicks, right? So when you look here on Apple on the day, I would say a great majority of the closing prints, for the exception of the 1030 candle that was a doji, closed above 242.5. So unless Apple gives up the ghost, and it absolutely could, there's no hard and fast rule that says we defended 242.5, therefore we're going to defend it in the future. There is no rule, but it just puts the odds more in your favor. The way I see it, we're still generally defending that area low, the consolidation area low on Apple, despite the fact that we are below the $0.50 right now. Nothing for me. I don't want to trade Apple. I'm not going to trade it. NVIDIA's continuing to go here, Joseph. So 144 2/3 right now on the monster NVIDIA as it looks to go into 145 land. It's already up 4.5%. The chips are killing it today. You have NVIDIA up 4.5%. You have AMD slightly below 3%. SPCE also at about 6%. ARM 6% as well. So you've got a lot of strength with these chips. It's just about trading them, I guess, well and accurately. So I'll keep my eye out on those. Back to the small cap gappers, anything a foot over here. Rivian doing bupkis, but it is defending volume weighted average price, but nothing for me to do on Rivian over here. We're going to keep my eye out also on CRNC. Joseph was involved in that. It seems to be defending 17, but putting a ridiculous amount of lower highs, Joseph. So I want to pack my patience.
Doing a lot of bupkis on that too. Man, I said in the chat, like the feedback on that question was absolutely insane. I was not expecting to see that many people chiming in. So again, it's absolutely fantastic. But Luis Martinez, one really stood out to me, and I want to answer this. So Luis, hopefully you're listening right now. So I am negative on my leaps on Tesla. I bought 5 for 46 calls with an expiry of January 2027. For so $14 options terms, $140.22. Right now, they are worth about $99.37. Is there a way I can do something to limit my potential loss? Well, Lewis, I just want to tell you, you have these leaps, fantastic, all right? You have so much time. Like, you have 2 years until expiration. So I don't think it's time to hit the panic button just yet, but what you can do, and I was talking to Wayner about this as well too, and something that I used to implement when I would buy them is just use a ratio spread. So you have 5 calls. It doesn't mean you need to fully hedge that position. You can buy 2 or 3, you can sell 2 or 3 calls against that in the short term, right? So you have those leaps, and if you want to buy a call against, or sell a call against Tesla that's dated a month out, a couple weeks out, and collect that premium as passive income, that will slowly mitigate those losses. It won't cover it fully, but even if you do a ratio spread, you're now partially hedged, and that can slowly pick away at those losses. But I think you have so much time that you don't necessarily need to do that, but you can look to implement that, especially on a shorter term basis, all right? So if you want to go a month out, or even the same expiration cycle that you bought those leaps. But again, you don't need to hold on to those positions. If Tesla decides that it wants to turn around, kind of like in the session today, you don't want to be selling those calls. I think you're sitting fine. You did buy at a higher price near the peak. We'll pull up Tesla here real quick for you. Just kind of assess the situation from that standpoint. But I think that you're fine. We mentioned this on the show multiple times, Sharif and I, that we're bullish Tesla for this, especially in the next coming years. He's working alongside Donald himself with Doge and everything. But for Tesla, I think Elon is sitting in the right place. He bet large on Donald. So again, you're going to catch that volatility in the stock because since the election has been trading extremely well. This pullback is totally justifiable, but you're up here at 460 with those leaps. Again, you can decide if you want to sell some calls against that position and collect some passive income on that front, but just be wary. I think that you're sitting just fine. Accept the volatility in this underlying asset. You have plenty of extrinsic value on those contracts, so you have enough time value Hold on to those. If you do want to sell those calls, that's totally fine. But I think you're sitting in a good spot right now. I think from what I see here, it does look like price is slowly starting to turn around. That is a healthy pullback here. So just be patient. If we decide that we want to break some of these key support and resistance levels, then reassess the situation and look to mitigate risk on that front. Then you can start hedging your position fully 75%, 50%, or however you feel comfortable with. But as of right now, I think you're good. If you want to talk about it more, about selling calls against that position, just feel free to tag me in the chat. But I think you're sitting in a good position right now on Tesla.
Did you hear about Dua Lipa?
No, what'd she do?
She got engaged.
Oh, yeah. I seen the ring, too. It was like people were chirping the guy about the ring.
Yeah, it's $5,000.
Yeah, well.
Well, I mean, that's good for us.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think.
But yeah, we're talking about Dua Lipa.
Tiffany and Co. But I mean, she's happy, man.
Of course, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on,
wow,
Dua. Come on, Dua.
Come on. Yeah, I mean, hey. Maybe I can build a case for you or something.
Reach out to Dua.
Yeah, reach out to Dua, but yeah, hey.
It was a sad morning.
That was a sad. When you seen that on Daily Mail,
It was a sad morning for me.
Yeah?
Joseph. Ram, of course, had to ruin my morning.
Oh, she sent it to you.
Yeah.
Like first thing in the morning, eh?
She was pumped to let me know about that. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, man. What is she? She's not. Is she Armenian or something along those lines?
I think she's Albanian.
Albanian,
and then she's British.
Okay.
Yeah, I think her. I'm pretty sure her family. Dara, fact check. Albanian. Yeah, Dara, fact check me on that.
Okay, yeah. So one kiss is all it takes, and that's it. And then it was over for you after she sang it. You fell in love.
Joseph, it's a tough day, bro.
Tough day. Yeah, well, hey, we've been down that boat, man.
Oh, big smile, for God's sake, bro. For goodness sake, stop dropping the cash and the goodness, big smile. What are we gonna do with you, bro?
What do you say this time?
He's a liability, bro. He's an absolute liability.
This guy is
Of course he's a liability.
This guy is absolutely
He gets away with a lot. We love him. We give him a lot of room, obviously, but big smile. Love you anyway, bro. I'm not reading that.
You can't read it.
But thank you for the super chat.
You can't read it. So you can't read that one.
Isn't she from Kosovo? I don't know, Eddie. I'm not 100% sure. I know she is from that general area. You can definitely fact check me on that, brother. Harry Lou. Joe being Sharif's wingman. Yeah, I'm telling you, Joe is solid, bro. Shout out to him. What do we got? Rigetti's moving. Jimmy Donnelly says Rigetti. My hands are sweaty. Starting to move. Let's find out over here. Rigetti is on the way down. It looks like it's a multiple VWAP rejection today for Rigetti. This one can't seem to catch a bid. So 19 and change. Yeah, Rigetti's definitely going to stay on the sidelines for me today. Definitely not interested in trading that. I don't usually take the small cap gappers south. There are people that make that their bread and butter, right? There was a trader up on the floor over here. That was kind of his move. He'd wait for these small cap gappers to run, 80, 90, 100%, and then he'd look for the kind of what OB looks like. OB looks for on the large cappers, the reversion, right? And usually you get them. Now, it's obviously a bit of a higher risk trade when you're trading a small float short. You're taking it short because of the parabolic nature that can happen given the smaller float, and obviously given sometimes these small cap gappers, they have a heavier short float as well, which can complicate things even further. Okay, speaking of trade that we were involved in earlier, Rivian back into 16. Okay, so this didn't quite make it down to VWAP, nor did it trigger my alert. So I had this alert shadowing the volume weighted average price. This one did dip in to 15, mid 60s there. And here we go again, back into 16, 15.99s now showing up here on the ask. We know that there was an area rejection on 16 once we broke it. We defended 16 for a while. It was about a 6-7 candle hold up on the 5-minute chart around 16. And then we gave up the ghost. Notably though, we didn't break down below VWAP, so we kept that bullish sentiment. If it's your practice, as it is mine, to use VWAP as kind of that line in the stand between bullish and bearish. Anyway, it's above 16 right now. This may be an entry here for Rivian. I am still looking at the lower highs. So if I use this high a day is an area crest, and this is an obvious area crest as well. This triple top, this 3-candle hold up here on the 5 from 11.55 to 12.05. That's another area crest. So we're still lower than those bad boys. So we hold up at VWAP, but we don't necessarily continue with the upward trend of higher highs and higher lows. I've been watching all these small cap gappers. I haven't changed any of the ones that I put on to start the day. None of them are to my liking, including the ones that I'm involved in with right now, which is only RR. It's holding up here at the $0.50, a little bit above the $0.50. It looks like it's holding up the 20 exponential. I've been keeping my eye firmly on CRNC because it's 100% winner over, and it's been zigging and zagging with 17. So I'm very interested in that. I'm also interested in BDMD, despite the fact that that one's a bit more spready. And I'd rather not trade that if I had a choice. I'd rather stick with the ones that have a bit of a tighter spread. But nothing is to my liking right now with respect to any of these small cap gappers. So I'm going to stay put. I don't need to trade at these levels. And if they catch a bid, they start moving and, get out of this consolidative phase that they're all in at the moment, then we'll get involved. Until then, stay put. Adair's at the big desk.
Look here at crypto here. Actually, starting with is pretty interesting. I was reading some comments here from Deng Chao, who's the CEO of Hashkey Capital. It's an institutional asset manager, saying that apparently it's very likely that in 2025 you're going to get more institutional investors and venture capitalists interested in these crypto-related projects, specifically in the venture capital space. This graphic is from, I believe, Q2 2024, so it's a little bit older. But this is from Silicon Valley Bank that I found here on Cointelegraph. And you can see here, these venture capitalists investment in crypto reached kind of a low in Q4 2023. Then as of Q2 2024, it really increased. So there are some chances here. Deng Chao, again, CEO of Hashkey Capital, saying that stablecoins are most likely to get some of this VC interest because VCs are increasingly looking into the stablecoins, especially with the fact that it's become the most proven, apparently, use case for crypto in 2024. So here's some, I guess, larger crypto players' views on what we can see in terms of themes for the space going forward in 2025. Let's take a look at the weekly chart of Bitcoin because this is a new year, new weekly chart of Bitcoin. This was quite the run we had here. Green for 4 straight weeks after the election. Then we had 2 weeks of selling. As of right now, though, I've been saying that 100,000 level key area of resistance on the daily chart, also in the weekly chart for BTC. So let's see if we're able to eclipse this 100,000 level. That would be huge potentially for Bitcoin. So certainly a level to be aware of that. Of course, the key $100,000 level. But then also in the weekly, we see that same kind of support we were seeing, that high 90,000 level. So I think as long as we continue to bat around between that 90,000 and 100,000, maybe not a bad look, but watch out if we break below that 90,000. Back to you.
Stuff there.
Love it.
As always. Harry Lou asked a quick question. Joe, have you guys already done a show on straddles for earnings? Yes. Go to the archives of the channel and you will find there's an extremely interesting picture of Sharif on that one, so I don't think you can miss the straddles lesson. Yeah.
We'll have to find out what that looks like.
Yeah.
Ram, she's giggling back there. That means there's trouble.
Yeah.
So straddles, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way we do it is we go on to the Trader TV YouTube homepage, and there's that magnifying glass there, obviously.
There we go.
You hit that. Strangles and straddles?
I think it was just straddles, yeah.
Straddles.
Both of them.
There it is.
There it is.
Option straddles?
Yep, yes,
Well, what's
sir.
wrong with my picture?
Well, no, remember it was the one you were on the bull and I was pushing it?
So where's that one
Well,
at?
I don't know. I thought it would have that on there, but it didn't. So.
Okay, unlocking big gains with straddles and strangles.
Yeah, that's
explained.
it.
That was when? What
There you
date
go.
was that? That was 7 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I think she threw that in the lesson.
In the lesson,
Yeah,
yeah.
she put that in the lesson. I think she kept because Brendo likes this.
Yeah. So,
we got to keep it like that, right? So yeah, that's a look there. Okay.
there you go.
Hey, but great opportunity to let everybody know that the YouTube channel is really good for using the search function to search what Joseph and I talk about. If you're a newer trader and you always hear us referring to the exponential moving average or to VWAP or any of the other terminology that we use that may not be within your vocabulary, just go onto the YouTube homepage again. Type in VWAP, for example, as a volume weighted average price, and then this great looking gentleman by the name of Neil Roberts shows up here trading VWAP for huge profits on Plug Power. Probably to the south side now, taking Plug Power to the south. Oh, there it is.
We got it now.
You were pumped about your glutes.
I was
there.
They're nice glutes
You were all pumped about the glutes
hockey
there.
glutes there. If we can pull them. we can pull up my screen.
Andre, if we can, yeah, he's doing it. He's doing it.
Yeah.
There it is.
I'm a little jelly here though because you have more definition in the arm than I do.
Well, you can't have it all, bro.
I can't have. Yeah, you're right. I can't have it all.
Who's that in the background there on the left?
That's
is that
Brendo.
anybody we
That's
know?
Brendo there. Right
That's
there.
Brendo?
No, it's not. It's not. But again, we got Wayner over here. And then we got, and then Sean and the boys back there.
Oh my God, Sean's got a firearm.
Yeah, he's got a, what's up with that? We got a firearm
what's that, Fabian? It's a ray gun, my man Fabian.
Ray gun, not the ray gun from Australia, not the breakdancer ray gun. But there we are. A lot more definition in the arm, in the bicep there than what I got going on. So.
Corey Pratt.
Yeah.
Look, Corey Pratt, obviously, you guys probably know this, but Corey Pratt's giving a good piece of suggestion here. ChatGPT helped me understand a lot of trading ideas, like what certain patterns mean. Obviously, that is a great source as well. If you're looking for, specific to us or looking for a video rather than text, the YouTube homepage for Trader TV, a great source. It's one that I used to use often when I was a viewer on the show, and I still do when we're looking for certain segments that we're looking for that I couldn't find. So just wanted to let you know about that. Rivian back above 16. Now it's not a decisive break at all by any means above 16, but here's the look. It's putting in higher lows, especially off that dip into the 15 mid 60s, which kind of glanced off VWAP. So above 16 we go here on Rivian, supported by umpteen amount of higher lows. Again, you're not getting that parabolic effect that we had in the earlier trading day, like 9:30 onwards, but you are getting that break and take of 16. Now, it's really making me wonder if I should be entering here and then placing my stop below the previous area low. That is exactly what I'm going to do here. We're going to get into Rivian and give this one the old community college try. And what I'm placing my low below is 1594. So it's going to have to hold that level. Otherwise, I want no smoke. The reason I'm placing it there is that is the previous 5-minute bar low. So it's a way of managing risk and riding the trend. So if we get something here with Rivian, fantastic. We're already 0 for 1 on it. Maybe we can go for 1 for 1 on the day today on RIV. And Havana Woody, Sharif, Joe, how do you chart relative volume and what is a significant deviation on different time scales and floats? So I keep my eye on RVol for the small cap gappers. I know Obi uses it for a lot other reasons. He keeps his eye on it for some of the large caps as well. I don't use RVol when I'm trading the Mag 7. If it's got a catalyst, fine. If the technicals are setting up, fine. But RVol, I keep my eye on for the small cap gappers because I want to see how many times float we've done. Now, with respect to the second part of your question over here, what is a significant deviation on different time scales and floats? I'm not really sure I understand what you mean by that. Explain a little bit more. I'd love to answer your question. Havana, you're one of the LGs, to let me know exactly what you mean by that there. Check out RR. I'm keeping my eye on RR drops trades. I'm going to let this either come in to my entry or I'm gonzino. We're going to wet our beak, hopefully there on Rivian on some profits as this one moves up. There we go. We'll take this one. Corey Pratt goes on to say, absolutely, you can just put your question in and it spits out nice layman's terms of stuff. Yeah, that's what these LLMs are for, baby. That's kind of what we're using them for over here. So that is the look. Joseph, what do you got?
Sharif, I got the Playmaker poll up here, my guy. It is that time. We almost forgot here, folks. I think this is going to be a key time to get in, Sharif. So are you ready? Let's get this data.
Hold on. Let me get this. I gotta load this up over here.
All right, load it up for the people. Okay, guys, so those who are new, we have now been collecting this data for almost 18. This is going to be the 18th session. We keep our metrics the same. We're in at 1 o'clock, and then we close the trade, whether we've hit profit target or whatever it may be at 2 o'clock, just to see if this strategy is profitable and just how to collect data for the longer term. So Sharif, as you can see, these are all the metrics that we have for those who are new, and this is our cumulative P&L here, and this is our equity curve that I apologize, I will get that fixed here. But again, we are on a 3-day red streak. I think it's only a matter of time until we turn it around because we have never been on a 3-day red streak, all right? So keep that in mind, folks. Let's get our entry price here quick, Sharif, because I know the market is moving and we want to get back involved here.
590.75.
590. 75, boom, and our target price being
592.
592, 75, love it.
580.
580.
89.
89,
75, excuse me.
580. Whoa, that would have been a hefty loss there. That would have been a hefty loss
that ain't it.
on that one. And I'm assuming we're going long. I don't need to have to look at that one. And then
we are 75% long, 25%
there we go.
short.
There we go.
You know what
114,
it
guys. And also just to keep in mind, we always keep it at a 2-to-1, right? So we're going 100 shares with a $1 stop loss and then $2 profit target. So we're always going for that 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Here is our accuracy. Here we're on a 3-day here, but again, we're still net positive on this strategy, guys. Good look there on the playmaker poll, and thank you all for participating on this because it is fun. And next week,
and thank
we're
you
going
for
to do the contract.
bringing it up, man.
Yeah,
because
appreciate
not only is it like fun to do every day, we kind of gauge it, but it's really teaching, I think, a lot of people to track their data and to be able to actually look. Because I mean, this is kind of what backtesting your strategy is all about.
Exactly.
Not
That's
backtesting, but keeping yourself honest.
Yeah, and your data, right? And also eliminating the factor of like, okay, is it a profitable system or is it not, as we touched on before?
There you go.
Who was it in the chat that said they implemented into ChatGPT and then collect the data themselves?
I forget.
Yeah, I
Somebody
forget, but
did
somebody
mention
in
that.
the chat, so you know who you are. I'm sorry that we forget your name, but yeah, thank you for doing that. And I know a lot of people have been doing it as well too, so nice work.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we're in Rivian right now. I'm setting up some profit takers at the $0.25. Let's see if we can get printed here. I'm waiting at 24s. I always front run the size there, the $0.25, $0.5, $0.75. Let's see if this one continues then to the high side. But you guys were telling me about Tesla in the chat, and you rightfully are. So I yelled to the boys on my right, Obi and Neil, that Tesla's moving. Tesla is on its way to $400, $399.27. What a flat top break. I don't even want to call this a flat top break. Through break of 97, obviously it had issues with 97, dips back down, has a big move, well, not a big move down, a decent move down, holds a 10 exponential moving average like a dang glove. Very respectful of that 10 EMA, then rounds up, putting incrementally higher lows, higher highs, and there goes the break through 397, 399.33 HOD. Again, just to get back into that pre-market consolidation area that we were in yesterday before the delivery numbers, the weaker than expected delivery numbers came out. We were ranging about 408. That was the low end of the range. I'm not saying we're going to go back into 408, but certainly an area of expected resistance. If we do get into 408, I'd be looking for possible rejection there. It looks like 400 is a foregone conclusion. 399.66 now. HOD on TSLA. Fantastic recovery, brother. I mean, look, they missed a little bit. I don't want to say the market expected that, but we had been seeing weakness in the EV sector. There is an issue in North America now where the North American consumer is really not you're so inclined to want to buy these BEVs. They're more interested in hybrids because of the range anxiety, this, that, and the other. That's not the same story everywhere else in the world, though. Okay? And just keep going on here about the MAG. Apple continuing to hold that 242.5 on a closing basis as a level of support. Here comes 243 again. If you're into range trading, Apple has an established range on the day with 244 essentially to the high side and 242.5 to the low side there right now. We just took the print there on Rivian at the $0.25. So let's set up now the third of a dollar. We're going to sit at 33s, and I just added to the position. Bro, why do I do that? That's so frustrating. I got to put my keys a little bit separate from each other, so I just added to the position there. I'm just going to take it out. I added to it. I'll just take it out there. All right, so let's take out, some at 33s. Let's put it there and see what is going on. So Apple's breaking above the volume weighted average price right now. Don't know what's going on there. Meta continues to whiffle and waffle sideways at 604, but above the volume weighted average price. Most notably, Google just got a nice little break there. This is also putting in that rounded bottom off the 20 exponential. It's coming into that 192.25. Good look there for goggles. All the while, NVIDIA pulls off that 144.75 HOD. It's looking like it wants to bounce off that 144. It's also been respectful of the 20 exponential on the retracements. Let's see if it catches a bid at the whole dollar at 144. NVDA off the highs, about 75 pennies now off the highs there. So keep your eye out for the mag. They're moving, baby. But we're still involved in RR and RIVN.
Hey, good look there, my friend. I got out of CRNC. That thing was not trading well at all. So I'm like, yeah, see you later, Gator, on that one. CRNC. Yeah, it just wasn't working out, just too slow of a grind, and then going to break those key levels that I was looking at. But sure enough, starting to recover now. But it dropped through there and tested that low of that candle. So I don't really want to participate on that front. So let's see what's going on with IBIT. Took another entry here, folks. Looking for the continuation in strength. Only up about 1.1% on the session. Totally fine. But again, like the overall market just trending to the top side and trading extremely well. Looking to participate in the strength and buy any of these dips that are there that are plausible. So again, took a little bit larger of a loss on this one that I would have liked, and then I didn't get back in when I should have. So I got a little bit better of a price, but nothing too outstandish. So, but sure enough, we are now creeping higher. I mentioned today, just with the earlier price action and the momentum to the top side, that I think that Bitcoin goes to 100K on the session, and how we touched on it puts in 10K days. Yeah, I know, Harmon. It's how it is, man. Unfortunately, you can't be 100% all the time. Oh, wow. Oh, my days. It really turned around, Harmon. Wow, okay. That is extremely frustrating. Sharif, you know those ones all too well there, my brother. So, again, yeah, would have been in the money now. Get out at the break, and then sure enough, that volume is really starting to step in right now. Oh, okay. Do we? Okay, yeah, I think we do participate in this here, folks, because that volume is really stepping in. We're breaking through some of these key resistance levels, so we're gonna dabble in this a little bit. See if we can go and test those highs of days. You can see the strength within the time and sales as well too. So keep that in mind. Nice. See, there you go, above the bid. Boom. Sorry, above the ask.
74.
You're in too. All right. Let's see. What am I in at? 86. How do you get it? Oh wow, you got it way better. All right, man. Wow. Okay. Anyways, yeah, you can see the strength within the tape here, covering now, and then really above the ask. But Sharif, tell them what you got in and how you got in.
Well, I saw it breaking on the side, bro. The rounded bottom is kind of it's a dead giveaway. The rounded bottom, the incrementally higher highs and higher lows. Look, I put my stop below the $0.50. How much am I out of? I've got 2 outs left. Okay, so I'm waiting at the $0.25, and if the $0.25 gets filled, I'm gonna be waiting at the $0.50. I'm gonna allow this to go against me by about 25 pennies. I'm in at the $0.75, but I've de-risked now enough that I can give it to below the $0.50. This is a bamboozler, and look, it had a specialist breakdown. Before the specialist breakout happened, the specialist breakdown happened. Now I have to monitor the trade because the bottom can drop off, but I do want to talk about this in a second because there was a hammer candle that probably pushed everybody out before it rocketed back up. And if you're looking at the 5-minute chart, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I can't take my eyes off it right now because I have to manage it. It's very volatile, so I don't want to sit there and do the lesson and then have this one drop off. I've given about a 15 penny spread on my exit. What does that mean? So I gave it to the $0.50, but at the same time, I gave it all the way down to about 35 pennies. Why? Because what ends up happening sometimes is the selling is so aggressive as it moves down that it eats up all those levels and there's nothing left for you there, so your stop doesn't get triggered. And that's a lot of trouble. So let's keep an eye out on this one over here as it zigs and zags, Joseph. This could be a bit of a problem because it's right now south of 18 bucks and it's got a topping tail candle, at least for now, on the 5-minute chart. So we'll see if this one comes down south of the $0.50. That's going to be the end of it for me. I'm not going to give this one much room south of the half, but it's going to have to hold this general area. So I'll send it to you for now.
Yeah, send it to me. I mean, yeah, like, that's a tough one there. So those are the ones that kind of just grind your gears a little bit. But again, yeah, I'm going to get out of this thing. Yeah, I'm going to get out of this thing here. That volume just stepped off. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with it, really, to be honest with you guys. So I'm going to pop out on this trade. I was looking for a little bit more continuation on that front, another 50-cent L there. So again, now it's going to turn around. Oh my days. Okay, but that's all right, guys. We'll focus here on IBIT, things that are working for us, and just try to put that on the back burner, in the back of the mind, and not worry too much about what's going on. But Soundhound is really trading nice. We put in this really long consolidation phase here, folks. So let's see if we're going to break it to the top side, forming lower highs, putting in that kind of bear flag pattern. So as you can see, we have this definitive base. on SoundHound, and then we have those lower highs with the inability to crack them. So if the volume steps in and we push through some of these levels, then I think we're going to go and test the high day on the session. So that's my look on SoundHound trading really well. Maybe we'll look to participate on this one if that volume steps in and we break through that level. And a lot of people in the chat are talking about Meta as well too. Sharif, we are now trading above the volume weighted average price on Meta. Trading half decently, recovering some of the losses that I put in earlier in the session. I sold off aggressively, and the overall market held fairly well considering Meta was selling. But we had NVDA, Tesla, and the likes of others trading significantly well. So sure enough, that compensated for what was going on. With these ones selling, price action isn't the best. A little expensive for my liking, and it is spready, which I know Adara likes. So again, yeah, we'll see what's going on with Meta. We've been trading below the volume weighted average price for the majority of the session. So is this a little bit of a rubber band effect on it? Are we going to snap it and continue to the top side, or are we going to pull back through and make that second leg and go for that lower day on Meta? I don't think the lower day is in play today, but anything can happen. Volume can step in at any given moment, and sure enough, we sell. But as of right now, I think prices turn around here on Meta, and we do continue to the top side, my guy.
All right, so we got stopped out for the remaining amount there. It gave back the entire move. So here's the look. This is what I want to talk about, the specialist breakdown. So I'm very interested in getting back into this if it can get its footing under it with respect to trend. So this candle over here. So why is this candle important? Well, it's a hammer candle, right? But the hammer candle signifies buyer exuberance. But before buyer exuberance came in there was obviously seller exuberance. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had this wick breach all these levels. In fact, this level as well, it made a newer low. So why do we call this a specialist breakdown? Because it's exactly that. It's a specialist or whoever trading who pushes everybody who was holding the longs off 17, thinking that the 17 was the area of support. It pushes everybody out. Everybody gets stopped out, and then what you end up doing is you have that same person with the big account who pushed everybody out, buy at the lows at around 16 2/3, 16 and a half, only to work his way right back above 18, take all the profits there, and then leave us holding the bag. We're coming right back into that 17 area though. So this is the same area we were defending. So a lot of bamboozlement on CRNC. Let's see if 17 holds. If 17 holds, we may have a consistent trend on our hands, wick or otherwise. It doesn't really matter because we chart off the closing prints. The wicks get you in, they get you out because they trigger stops, obviously. But when we do an ex post facto analysis, we're certainly looking at that the closing print. So here we go, back to the high side again. I'm going to sit at 1720s, okay? If I can get a dip trade in and around 1720, that's fantastic. And I can base my exit off 17. So we'll see exactly what we get there. If it wants to give me a 1720 dip, it just held 17, it just held the 20 exponential, and it's trying to make another attempt at 17.5 to 18. Sorry, I'm looking at my side chart over here because I chart on the 5-minute, execute on the 1. So we'll keep an eye out on that. I do see RR coming back into VWAP. It doesn't concern me as much because I've got very small position left on that one, but I definitely want to work my way in here to CRNC because the volume is picking up, and by extension of that, the volatility also picking up. So if I do get triggered here at 20, my stop goes below 17. I will not give it any more than 17. So we're going to risk 20 pennies on the last remaining amount here if we can get filled. Low 30s we go. We're printing 32s. There does seem to be a buyer of note holding this above 32, kind of a random area to find a buyer. In any event, let's see exactly what the deal here is. Joseph, here it comes into 30s. We could get filled here if it continues down a little bit. A 3-penny spread, mind you, on a $17 name, not too bad. Not the greatest, but not too bad. Something we can definitely manage over here on CRNC.
Hey, good luck there. A lot of people talking about MSRT, Mr. as Obi would like to call it. Mr. I like that one, or MicroStrategy as it was earlier in the last week, that is. But guys, chime in the chat. I want you guys to chime in the chat and make it this simple. We're talking about Bitcoin. Just write if you're a bull or a bear. That's it. That's it. Just type in bull or bear on Bitcoin, and that's it. That's all I want to know. Are you a bull on Bitcoin, or are you bearish? Do you believe in it, or do you not? That's all I want to know, because we know here around the desk, a lot of us, Sharif and I, including myself, Neil, Sean as well too, have a little bit of crypto exposure. So let's say a bull. So as of right now, the bulls are dominating, which they typically do. And okay, here we go now.
You asked
now
for it,
we
you
go.
got it.
Now we ask.
You asked
get
for it,
it.
you got it,
Let's
baby.
go. That's what I want to see, folks. Love it. And it looks like the bulls neither. Okay, so you're neutral. Yeah, a lot of bulls. Yeah, wow, look at that. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, bull. We're loving it here, guys. Man, yeah, thanks for chiming in. Goats. Okay, a lot of goats going on. All right. Does that mean greatest of all time? Is that how you're referring it to? So you got the goat?
I don't have
there?
it. There's a Brendan Goat one there, but I don't have it. I don't have it.
You don't have it. We'll just throw the money storm up.
Oh, hold on. They just did it.
They just did do it again.
Get it. Yay. Hey, there he is. He's a sheep, but we're going to pretend that's a goat. It's not a big deal.
All right, that's good stuff there. Yeah, good stuff. XRP, someone says,
hey.
Love my fellow D-Gens at Darwin. I mean, hey, man, people believe in the technology, so do we. Thanks for chiming in. That was fantastic. It does look like bulls have took that one. Bitcoin 300K. Doge $5.
Wow.
Says Stan O.
What's it at right now? What is Doge?
Dogecoin, I think it's like 20 cents or 25 cents or something along those lines. Fact check me, chat, and let me know what Dogecoin is sitting at. But I mean, we were dabbling in crypto, but I remember when back in the day, me and my friends, we were just sitting around during COVID, and my one buddy told me about Doge. So a bunch of us just tried to get, like, how can we buy this thing? So sure enough, we had the CoinSquare app, and then me and a group of my buddies, we all just put a bunch of money into Doge at like 3 cents, and then rode it all the way to 85 cents.
That's crazy.
The chat went, like our group chat was absolutely insane. There was a couple of my buddies, there's 5 of us, we're like, just relax, we're gonna just ride this out to $1, and then the other half are just like, take it out now,
yeah,
freaking out,
two different types of people.
Oh yeah, they were freaking out. Yeah,
way,
exactly.
right?
We're just like, yeah, take it easy, but sure enough, we ended up paying a bunch of our.
Can I mention something?
Yeah.
So my cousin, she was involved in XRP. It's kind of one of the things that she's involved in. She's involved in some Bitcoin. So she opened up a Coinbase account. Now, we're not affiliated with Coinbase, nor am I vouching for them, but there was something really interesting she told me. She's like, if you do these lessons in the app, they give you crypto in exchange. Now, it depends on what kind of crypto you want, but you get the crypto in exchange for doing these lessons. And then, so say you get, I don't know, Doge or whatever.
Can you pick your crypto?
Yes. No, you don't. It's like there's ones that will, like, they sponsor the lessons, so they'll give you that crypto. But the move here is you can exchange that crypto within Coinbase for Bitcoin or ETH or anything like that. So you do the lessons, get the crypto for free, just because you did the lessons, and then buy Bitcoin, even if it's not the coin that you want, which I thought to be really cool. It's a nice way to weasel into crypto for free.
I like that.
Is that accurate, guys? I mean, like, that's what she tells. She's like doing that all the time. On the blockchain, yes, but it was a pretty small amount. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
fraction
That's what I did, says Jimmy Donnelly. Shout out to you, Jimmy. Yup, helps educate you on crypto, then trade them, says Random Samaritan. Yeah, look, I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting, especially if you don't want to, drop any money, if you're kind of hesitant about the whole thing. It's a nice way to get educated and work your way into the position. So interesting stuff there, Joseph. I mean, obviously for those who want to be involved in crypto.
Yeah, well, and sorry, story too. I'm gonna throw him under the bus because one of the friends in the group chat was like, "Here, give me my share that I want," and then he bought a bunch of XRP after that. And then,
you got what you wanted after all, right?
Yeah, and then he bought a bunch of XRP, and we know how that went.
Guys, the market is breaking out big boy right now. We got, I guess, a new high of the day on the NQ. We're moving up nicely here on Meta. We're moving up nicely here on what's it called, NVIDIA as well. We had a nice move up on Microsoft. The future just printed day's high, 21,519, really being helped by Tesla and NVIDIA. They're both at the day's high. As I mentioned, Meta as well, not definitely at the day's high, but it just got to 606. We were talking about 609 possibly over here. Google, not at day's high, obviously, but continuing to work up. Apple at the volume weighted average price. So the market catching a bit of a bid. We'll have to see, Joseph, if we're able to hold that 21,500. We did get 19 points above it, but who knows? This market be crazy.
Yeah.
So that's the situation right now. I'm still involved in CRNC here, trying to defend 17. It's whiffling, it's waffling, nothing doing, no prints, but not out of the money, not in the money either. Let's see how this resolves, Joseph.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, man. I just scrolled up and there was a lot of people chiming in on that bull and bear stuff. Yeah, so that was absolutely wicked. Guys, let's take a look at SPY here real quick. Yeah, sure enough, we have a really good entry here, folks. I'm proud of us on that front. We're starting to pull back a little bit. We did break those highs of days on the SPY and now going to test. Unfortunately, our profit target's somewhere up around here. I don't know if we're going to necessarily get to that in the next 22 minutes, but we'll see. Hopefully, we can lock in somewhat of a profit on the playmaker pull, and that will end the losing streak that we are currently on. So that volume is stepping in on that breakout. As you know, I always look for that. So really nice look here. Now coming back in a little bit, totally fine. I know someone in the chat mentioned, why aren't we talking about CVNA? Sure enough, we'll pull it up and we will talk about it now. Carvana was really, really strong in the pre-market. I'm not too sure of the catalyst that it had on it. Pardon me? Short report on CVNA. So there we go. I mean, I remember this thing was down in the dumps not too long ago. A couple years ago anyways. Yeah, trading at $10. I thought this thing was written off, and then sure enough, what an absolute recovery here on CVNA. I thought it was going to get delisted. I think there was some talks about that along those lines, but sure enough, an absolute monstrous recovery here on CVNA. Let's see what the lows of 23. Let's see how much percent from a percentile aspect. Yeah, so almost 5,000% off those 23 lows. And now let's see how far off the all-time highs, or the highs we are, year-to-date highs. So about 31%. But again, short report coming out on CVNA. Thank you, Adara. And now trading lower on the intraday session as well too, folks. So there you go. I would have to read into it a little bit to see what's actually going on, but here we have it from a 5-minute standpoint. One thing I'm going to point out is that you have this double doji here, essentially with that 5-minute hammer candle, you know, I'm always looking out for, and then a really, really strong, I guess this was somewhat of a short squeeze, just grabbing liquidity and then sure enough, just making new lows, going to go and test that low of the 5-minute range there. So again, really tough look there on CVNA unless you were trading within the first hour or so. You're good. Oh, we got a...
We're just going to get an e-signal.
Okay, we got an ad read. Sorry, I didn't hear anything about that in the old earpiece there. But okay, yeah, we're going to send off to Shreve with the e-signal ad read.
Sir, absolutely. Guys, e-signal is that platform that helps you trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade now to that elite trading experience that helps you analyze, strategize, and then capitalize by foreseeing those profitable opportunities with the platform that you need. You get a bunch of stuff. You get infinite data. You get instant trading. You get to know where the market is moving before others with that lightning fast data and execution. And a lot of people compliment their charts. Some would say that they have charts that change the game by allowing you to customize and analyze the markets faster and in your specific way. And we all know a sound trading plan requires good backtesting. That's what you get here. You get better backtesting. You get better scanning. And it helps you predict the future by understanding the past, reliable, real-time data up to the second market information from hundreds of global markets. It's everything you need all in one place. So don't miss a beat, guys. Execute your best trades now. If you're ready to elevate your trading, scan that QR code in the link or in the description of this video, or scan that QR code on the bottom right of your screen, or click the link in the description of this video. Shout out to the good folks there at e-signal.
E-signal. Yeah, guys, still sitting here in some IBIT trading really well. I know I mentioned this multiple times, but we'll go over it one more time here. With Bitcoin. We'll talk about Bitcoin, though, right after we get back from Madeira and the Super Chats.
I just wanted to go over that Carvana story again here. So CVNA, this is quite the 192 level we had today, breaking as of right now below that, I guess, previous double bottom of that 186 level. Let's talk, though, about the short report. The short report from Hindenburg actually came out yesterday morning. Stock initially dropped on the report, then came back. This report is called Carvana, a father-son accounting grift for the ages. So in case you're wondering why that name came to be, it's actually, and Sharif went over this morning, so you can check that out on our rundown around 9:20, I believe, in the morning. We did have basically Ernest Garcia, who is Ernest Garcia III. He is the father. The son, Ernie Garcia Jr. is I guess he's CEO of this company. Well, Ernest Garcia actually was involved in a fraud, actually convicted for fraud back in 1990. So that's part of the issue here. It's also worth knowing, apparently, basically, the main issue is they're saying that Carvana's whole thing at selling, that they're past their worst times. As Joe mentioned, there was a lot of strife at the company. Hindenburg saying that's, quote, a mirage, although a spokesperson for Carvana has called the report, quote, misleading and inaccurate. And JP Morgan has also said that they disagree with what's been said here in the Hindenburg report. So the accounting issue is apparently a concern here, and calling it a grift. But either way, CVNA, right now down in the day, but did recover pretty nicely as of yesterday, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara.
Thank you, Adara.
As always. But we got a couple of super chats here, Sharif, that we need to cover. So, Iltech Surgeon LLC, $5 super chat. First of all, bang. I'm loving the channel and the chat community. Happy trading. I don't know. Yeah. Again,
appreciate you.
Yeah, more than appreciate you. We can't say that anymore. And then we have another $5 super chat as well too from Cross Credit. I received 4,000 XLM. Do you know what XLM is?
No.
An average of 22 cents through the Coinbase debit card when they offered 4% back in XLM. Been holding since August 2021. Okay, that's really nice and interesting, Cross Credit. Not too familiar with XLM. We're going to take a look at it right now. Okay.
What is this, lumens? What is that?
What is that? What is
I don't
it
even
called?
know. It doesn't give the name.
Lumen.
Why is it?
Okay.
Why does it not give the name? XLM to USD. Here it is. All right, let's find out. Stellar.
Oh, is that Stellar?
Stellar
Okay,
XLM.
all right. Is that
I didn't even
44
know what this was. Do you know this?
No, I've heard of it before though. So I get 44 cents American. Is that USD?
That's, yeah.
60,
Yeah, USD.
$2 Canadian.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it sucks,
just, you know.
But nice Cross Credit. It looks like you're over 100% on that front. So really nice trade there, my friend.
All right, guys. We got stopped out of our CRNC trade, so that's the end of that one. It's whiffling and waffling too much for me at 17. If it wants to resolve over here to one side or another, that's fine. But clearly, you know, it hasn't chosen a direction of where it wants to go. It's above the 20. It's above VWAP. It's below the 10, but above 17. I'm done dealing with this one. It looks like it may break out at any moment, but you know, I'm getting caught up on it. Right, we initially had a good trade on it on the breakout there, then we kind of gave it back, and now I'm flat on it. Actually, no, now I'm negative on it. So that's kind of annoying, but we'll keep an eye out on that. Rivian, there's a breakout. Okay, we get the third of a dollar there. Rivian holds on to 16. Joseph, finally, we got initially, what do we get there? 7s, and then we added at 10s, so now we just got the third of a dollar. Rivian has a HOD of 52s, but it held VWAP quite well. It just broke away from that consolidation area below, I want to say below 30s, or it seems like the closing prints were at the $0.25. The wicks were in the 30s. 35s now showing up on the ask, up 23.5%. Let's see if this one can clear and stay above this area over here, 1650. That's where you're going to encounter resistance. You had an area trough all the way around for a hot minute there, but it did breach into 52. So it's not strictly 50, it's 52s, but you guys get it. The general area is 50. Keep your eye out on this one. It is breaking out now with decent volume. I don't want to say the volume is akin to anything that we had at the open, but just to give you an example, we've been in this 5-minute candle for 1 minute. We already have about 2/3 of a million shares printed on that 1 5-minute candle. So the volume's certainly picking up here. Definitely a good look. Let's pack our patience on Rivian. I've got a couple more outs on this bad boy, so I'm going to pack my patience and see if I can get that $0.50 bump and touch. Marty dropping cash in the chat. Shout out to my man Marty, $10 super chat. Tesla momentum unstoppable. Elon demands 420. Boom. My man, he got 420. He also got 469s. Both pleased him. Maybe he can get it a second time. Let's have a look at TSLA, see what the chart pattern is saying to us at the moment. Where's Tesla? Okay, we just took 400. So now, it's a real possibility that we go into that pre-market low-end consolidation yesterday that I kept talking about, 408. We just touched 401.82, so essentially a 402 touch and drop. We're at 401 right now. Tesla can absolutely get into 408 in a hurry. Guys, the low of the day on Tesla is 379, and we were below that in the pre. We had touched 377 on that dip at around 715. So TSLA definitely recovering a little bit. Well, I don't want to say a little bit, definitely recovering a lot from yesterday's lows. Just to give you some more context, 373 was the low yesterday during that 1 o'clock time slot when we really sold off in the market. Excellent recovery by Tesla, showing you that the market really does. I think they're really going to put their weight behind Elon and whatever he's got going on. Obviously, you mentioned it multiple times, the association with the Orange Man does not hurt. Guys, Microsoft, high day as well. 423.87. We just broke there. The IB high, the implied balance high was 423.74. We just printed 88. Great strength there from the soft one. Looking to take 424. So Microsoft catching a bid, the Fuge catching a bid, Meta catching a bid, even Amazon, Apple, it's below VU up. So, yeah. Context. Keep an eye out on those ones, Joseph.
Yes, sir. I mean, someone asked me to look at it. Wow, okay, MSTR. Absolutely parabolic here. Yeah, that is absolutely.
What the hell?
Yeah, what are you looking at? Are you looking at MSTR, Neil? Physio guy. It's Physio guy. Because I know this Physio guy's in some crypto, I'm pretty sure. So
crazy.
MSTR, absolutely fantastic right now, guys. Wow, yeah, like look at this chart. You get this consolidation phase, and then it essentially just doesn't even look back. So really nice trading, up about 36 and change on the session on MSTR. Let's go to the actual underlying. I know a lot of people were talking about Michael Saylor in the chat earlier today, Sharif, and they think that his strategy is a little bit too risky. But by all means, you got to understand what the man is doing. He is all in. There's like, he's not bluffing or anything. He's showing you his cards and being like, I'm all in. I'm going to acquire as much of this as possible. So, I mean, he can't really buy it all because then who's he going to sell it? Well, I guess he can sell it to a bunch of people, but again, you can't just acquire everything and hoard it all. But again, we mentioned this. I mentioned it earlier as well, too. Bitcoin 100,000 on the day. I think it is going to head that way, especially with the session that it's putting in. Usually after hours, it usually picks up a little bit of steam as well, too. So Bitcoin looking extremely nice, holding those key support levels that I thought were going to be breached, and we head to the downside. But now IBIT being optionable, that volatility to the downside has definitely been hindered. There's no doubt about that. So again, holding those levels extremely well. Looking to size up in this for sure. But one thing I want to point out here on Tesla Street, as you mentioned earlier, as we were just talking about it, but one thing that I noticed was really key. So we have these post-market resistance here that we are now running into from a couple of days ago. Yeah. So again, we're knocking our head onto this here, but we're now breaking through it, heading into the middle of this range here in this consolidation phase. So possible resistance here on Tesla. Let's see if we can break that, because then I think that there is going to be a next level there. So Darth Budo, I do have an X there. So I think Bear vs. Bulls, can you drop the X thing for me? Because I know a couple people in the chat are asking me about X. So just drop the link there. You can add me, DM me, whatever ways. But again, we're going to send it off to Adara.
Take a look at money talks here. Look at this US dollar on the weekly chart, because, you know, it is first couple of days of 2025. To see where we might go, we have to see where we've been. Where we've been on the US dollar is certainly at the support area around 100. This is actually going back here, I guess slightly below it, July 2023. Then we bounce again late September 2024. And that brings us to where we are today. This high of this weekly candle is 109.2. Right now, currently trading around high 108s for the DXY. So interesting look here for the US dollar. Next potential level of resistance would be that 110 halves area on the weekly chart. That was a level that we rejected back in September 2022. Then again here in November 2022. So that's certainly going to be a level on watch. Also on watch were comments from Fed's Barkin today, basically echoing a lot of that hawkish sentiment that we heard coming out of the FOMC meeting. The market actually dropped a little bit as he said his remarks. So unsure if it's related, but certainly worth noting. Basically said that Fed Barkin still sees that underlying inflation is coming down nicely. Specifically, in the core space, but actually, and said that he expects 12 months inflation to decline in the coming months, but also, and here's where it gets hawkish, noted that he's actually in the camp of staying restrictive for longer because there are some potential upside risks to inflation. And if we are going to cut rates, basically what he wants to see is confidence in inflation returning to 2% or weakening demand. Well, the thing is, he did mention that demand has been pretty strong in the housing sector, so that might not be what we're looking for. We also know, though, that 2% is still what the Fed wants. Fed Chair Jerome Powell made that very clear during the December 18th FOMC meeting. They're still looking for 2%, but that 2% seems farther and farther away. So just be careful. These rates that we're not expecting to get cut might stay where they are for a little while longer. See you.
Well,
Joseph, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So we all know Elon took Twitter private. Yep. Obviously, everybody knows that. Now
What was it,
X.
42 billion later?
Yeah, I know, right? Does he take it public? Does he go back public and buy the ticker X from US Steel?
He can't take the ticker, can he?
He can.
Yeah.
He can buy it from like Meta.
Oh, yeah?
They bought their like Meta before it was Facebook. The Meta ticker was like a metaverse ticker.
Oh, okay.
It was an ETF, sorry.
Oh, okay.
It was an ETF.
That's,
yeah, you just got to strike a deal.
You got to strike a deal, but is he going to drop more money into to Twitter? I mean, X, because it's essentially a net loss for him so far.
So far,
yeah.
but what my gauge on things is that the platform is just booming in popularity right now. I think usages are big, and a lot of the advertisers are back. Remember how they did that whole boycott?
They boycotted him
and
with
Bobby Iger.
Yeah, and he's like, if you want to boycott me, if you want to blackmail me with money. What did he say after that?
Yeah. We can't repeat it on the show.
We won't repeat it, yeah. But what did he?
You should have seen Sorkin. He's just like a deer in the headlight. What do I do?
Like, what do I do? Right? Yeah. But I mean, what do you think? Do you think it would be beneficial for Elon to take it public or to stay private?
I think if there's a financial incentive for it, like if the revenues are there, and then you could start making the case that, hey, valuation for this is markedly higher than what he paid for it, I don't see why not. But the other side of that coin is he loses de facto control. Sure, Linda Yaccarino, CEO, but let's call a spade a spade.
Yep.
Elon owns a company. Right.
And I think I like that point too, Sharif, because that gives it the ability to kind of get on that Elon meme kind of craze, right? Because we know that Tesla can get memey as well too, 100%. Because of the type of figure, because of Elon. So I think X can definitely go into that type of projection. So yeah,
100%. I mean, we're talking about SpaceX possibly weaseling its way onto the public markets, and that's even if SpaceX brings Starlink with it. They could be two different companies, right? Yeah. Like, so there's
FedEx broke up not too long ago as well too with FedEx.
Yeah.
Neil and I covered that on the aftermarket
market
show.
recap.
Yeah. So I mean, hey. One thing too that I found interesting, talking about Google, talking about fractions of companies, but apparently the valuations on YouTube, Waymo, etc., could be worth more if Google were to be broken up.
That is actually really interesting, especially with the new administration coming in. But again, I don't think there's a marked departure from the thinking of Lina Khan. And
well, she's out of the door. She
is.
Yeah, she's out.
But I don't think there's a big difference between the incoming FTC chair and his disdain for big companies and wanting to break them up. I think that was a big overlap between the Republicans and the Dems here, that they didn't really want these companies growing much bigger. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case, but it should be super interesting there. And Adara was telling me off camera, I mean, one day, that there was actually like a contingent of people from that side that were quite, speaking well of Lina Khan, like in some of her philosophy. I don't think they like everything, right?
Of course.
But that should be really interesting, dude. I mean, I don't know. Do you think Google spins off Waymo if it becomes a huge success?
Maybe. I think so. I think if anything, if you're going to break anything up, maybe Waymo would be something. But again, we mentioned this before. I just think it's in America's best interest, considering we're kind of in this AI revolution, is that you want to keep your strongest companies stronger than your opponents, right? So I think it'd be in America's best interest to keep Google the potential leader in this AI arms race.
Hey, okay. Just don't hit any driving fridges, like those pizza delivery ones that we showed you the other day. All right, let's see what the chat is up to here. We got about 8 minutes left on the show. Any plans for the weekend before we weasel into the chat?
No, you know what? It's my little brother's birthday dinner. So we're gonna be doing that. Then we have a dinner as well this evening in Hamilton. And then, and then just relax, work on some stuff for the show.
Love it,
some
man.
Lessons, and that's it. Hit the gym. Make sure we get those gym sessions in.
There it is.
Those will be happening without any questions. So other than that, how about you, my friend?
Well, not much going on because the Christmas is 6 and 7, Christmas
7,
Eve. Then the 7th is Christmas, so just probably chilling.
Chilling.
The sister's gone, the kids are gone. They're back in SoCal now. So it's funny, bro, when people stay with you and like you get used to your apartment being like a pigsty and like chaotic. And then they're gone all
quiet,
of a sudden. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit of, I don't know.
Eerie, eh?
Yeah, I don't like it too much. I like when they're around. I like when they're
There
around.
you go. Now that's why we got to hit up Dua Lipa to see if she can come in. Watch over.
Sadly, that's not going to happen anymore.
He's a Dua.
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't know if Neil was here for my little spiel about Dua Lipa. That's why he's like, what? But yeah, that's not going to happen now. It looks like she's secured the ring.
Oh,
he secured the bag.
He secured the bag.
She secured the $5,000 ring that she can buy a million times over.
To quote Harry from Dumb and Dumber,
you're
telling me there's a chance, even though you're.
Yeah, I would hold hope with that, brother. not my wildest dreams, but there it is. Is that you, Ram Ram? It is Ram Ram. They say just because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't score. There it is.
Dang.
There it is.
Dang.
There it is. The comment du jour, baby. Okay. Everybody's laughing at that.
That is crazy.
I don't know why I read that out loud, but it's been read and it can't be taken back anymore. Shout out to Ram Ram doing the absolute most. Ramin wins everything for that, says Adara. She does. Bravo. Shout out to Jay Lee. Happy Orthodox Christmas. Thank you, brother. You and your family have many friends also that celebrate the old Julian calendar. Yes, I appreciate you, Jay Lee, one of the OGs there in the chat. Everybody loving Ram Ram's comment. Okay. I see you there, Ram Ram. All right, guys. I am going to get out for the last remaining amount here on Rivian as it breaks down below my entry at 15. So that's the end there. With respect to RR, how we doing over here? Anything left on that one? Yeah, we got one more left. It's coming back in to south of the $0.50. I'm not going to nurse this while I'm at the big screen, so we're going to take it out here flat. Well, no, that's not flat. That's a 15-penny winner on the last remaining amount. So it'll be a decent day today. Let's just go over some of these small cap gappers, see which ones are still in play and which ones are no longer. NITO, no longer in play under my system, trading below VWAP. Rivian, as I mentioned, I just got out of that despite the fact that it is still above VWAP. Rocket Labs.
Dude, okay, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah,
but you're gonna absolutely love this.
You're
gonna love this.
What?
I know.
I can't see it.
This is my boy.
Zoom in, control shift.
Is that how we do it?
Control, and then the mouse thing. There you go, yeah.
This is Greg V, my buddy Elon. I know you're gonna like this. His mom is apparently so.
Is she?
Yeah.
Is she a fan?
Oh, big fan. Well, what do you mean? Is she a fan?
You
know what I mean? So come on, there we go.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. We're on the train.
It's an Elon Christmas.
Yeah,
bro.
there's an Elon Christmas. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, that's joke.
I love that. Shout out to Greg.
That's funny. Yeah, good stuff.
Oh,
Greg.
money's being thrown around there, Joseph. Marty in the chat, $20. This is to buy Ram a drink as a former goalie. That was epic. We're spending the money for that. Absolutely. That is great there, Ram. No filter. We should call her no filter Ram because, you know, she's going to say what she wants if she wants. She was told that by someone. She wanted to use it. She's using it all the time now. It's a good one, Ram, as evidenced by the chat there. We love that. Crap stock. Ram has, no, that's not accurate. Okay, so let's keep going on there. Everyone loves Elon. Yes, absolutely, BNG. People do love Elon. That's the whole thing. But I think that he's got his, I don't want to say an equal amount of detractors as he does, people who love him. Yeah. Where would you fall?
I would say more people dislike him than.
Really,
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, because I got to tell you,
a lot of people don't like this.
No, because the Orange Man, he was at a I think a Republican conference 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that, and he mentioned Elon's name, and I would say only about half the crowd started cheering.
Yeah.
Like a fair degree of Republicans still, you know, they're
Envious of the cash.
right? Exactly.
So there you go.
All right, guys, that's jokes there. All right, Joseph, we got 2 minutes left on the show. Leave them with.
Whoa! A couple of thoughts there. Okay, guys, Bitcoin 100K. I think we hit that sometime today or in the near future. Sofi trading well is trading well on the session too. But guys, the SPY. I like the SPY. Our playmaker poll is doing fantastic. I'm happy about that one. But first and or last, but most importantly, everybody have a safe weekend. Make sure you have those stops in place. You don't want to ruin your weekend having a bad day because you didn't follow your rules. Follow your rules. We're heading into the weekend, and we will be back same time, 11 on Monday.
We will be.
I'm
going to leave them with Uber.
Leave them with Uber.
Okay, guys, so Uber is at $65 minus 12 pennies. And this is now the 4th week, as you can see here on the weekly, that we have defended $60. And it's not an area that was novel for Uber. That was an area defend as well during Black Monday, during the yen unwind trade. The carry trade, the unwinding of the yen carry trade. And I mentioned this yesterday, and I'm going to mention it again. For a period of weeks back in early 2021 to, I want to say, early spring of 2021, we rejected $60 as an area of resistance. $60, an important area on Uber. It's not often that these companies are on sale. I haven't gone into the position yet, so I'm not talking up my own book here. But I think with this area defend, I will be getting into Uber, into the swing / long-term account. Uber, $65, 4 weeks defending that $60 area. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys because I think it's a good possible entry. Last one here, $20 super chat from my man Vasil. Happy New Year's, guys. We love you. No, Vasil. We love you, brother, and thank you very much for the kind words and for the super chat. Can't wait for, what's it called, next week. We're going to have the new show on the 9th when the market is closed. Yep. We're going to be talking about these positions like Uber and some of the other long-term trades that we've got in store. But Joseph,
yes, sir.
It is now 2 o'clock, and it is now time to send you to the Big Kahunas, a.k.a. Obi and Neil. Joseph and I see you same bad time, same bad channel on Monday. Take care.
Welcome, everybody.
How's it going?
I have one very important question. When is a dollar move on a $5 stock in your